Hey right guys, Trophy Talks here, and today we are doing a different kind of video. I've done plenty of tier lists in the day. We've done all TV shows that I've ever watched in my entire life ranked. We've done every character from individual shows ranked, like every character from Euphoria or Stranger Things, but we've never ranked just 100 straight TV characters. So that's what we're going to do today. The rule was I had to pick I could only choose one character from an individual TV show, so I couldn't have like Chandler and Ross from Friends. I just had to pick like one of them. And then I couldn't just pick my personal favorite from each show, although a lot of them are. I felt like a lot of them should be like the iconic character of said TV show as well. But then saying that, there are some characters where it's like all the characters are kind of evenly spread out, like Friends. It's like you do have just all of them on the kind of same playing field. So I would just pick my personal favorite. So that's how we're doing this. And we're going to be here for a while. As you can see, we've got a lot of characters to get through here. I mean, 100 to be specific. And it was difficult as well because, like, here, this is technically going to be the top tier, the iconic icons. Because then I had one above it where it's like, I would take a bullet for certain characters. But, for example, like Walter White, maybe arguably, spoilers, one of the greatest TV characters of all time. But would I take a bullet for Walter White? Don't know about that one. So see this as like the top tier, and then this is like me just glazing over certain characters. That's all that is. Then we got the amazing bow before the characters, the swell characters. Like they're pretty chill. You know, they're fine. The pretty good characters, and then the bye bye characters, the characters we just do not care about, which might not be a lot because again we are picking like the iconic and my personal favorites from individual TV shows, but we'll see how they kind of line up when put against certain other characters. So yeah, I might do this in like 2 or 3 different sittings because I want to at least talk about the characters a little bit. But yeah, let's get on with it. 100 TV characters ranked. Let's do this. I don't know how we're going to do that. I'm going to like close my eyes. We're going to do this. Then we're going to click here. Who do we have? Joel from The Last of Us. Okay. We're going off TV show Joel here, played by Pedro Pascal. I'm going to put him here for now, just so he's up and out of the crowd. This one's difficult because The Last of Us game is like one of my, if not my favorite game of all time, just because of the story. And Joel is one of the greatest. Joel from the games is in my top 5 game characters of all time, I'd say, for sure. Maybe top 10, but we'll say top 5. Whereas the TV show, if we're talking about that, it was difficult, I think, because there was a lot of lines that, well, obviously, most of the moments were from the game, and there was just so many lines where I was like, Troy Baker delivered that better. Troy Baker delivered that better. I know that's like such a miserable way to kind of watch the Last of Us TV show, which I did still really enjoy. I think it was a great show. But if we're going from Joel from the TV show, I'd say for now, I'm very, very curious what they do with Joel in season 2. It's kind of, and if you know, you know, if you know, you know kind of stuff. But again, it's different with the game because we had like, how long would you say the first Last of Us is? Like 15 to 20 hours. You have double the amount of time with Joel in that game than you do with the TV show as well. So you just get to know him so much more. But we'll say, for now, I'll say you're swell. Joel, swell guy, for sure. He'll have you back, but part of my brain's just like, I love the game version so much. And if I was going off just the TV show existed, I'd probably say he's still around here for now because we have only had like 8 episodes with him as well. All right, who else we got? We got what's his name? Michael Schofield from Prison Break. God, I'm gonna blank on some of these names. I know I am. Schofield from Prison Break. Again, if we were doing the TV show, I'd kind of say the same thing where season 1, absolute peak and all that. But we're going off the character. I think it's really interesting. I think kind of like the TV show, I think Michael as a character does peak in seasons 1 and 2. And then seasons 3, 4, and 5, he kind of is, from what I've not seen Prison Break in a while, but from what I remember, he's kind of just doing the same thing as it goes on. He's got his love story with Sarah, which is all cute as well. I like his bromance with his brother and his bromance with other characters as well. But yeah, as a character, I'd say kind of like Joel, maybe a little bit better for me. I think he just has a lot of moments throughout the show where he's, I wouldn't say annoying, he's just kind of is just doing the same thing. And like the idea in season 1 where he tattooed the whole blueprint of the prison onto his body is just so cool. And they start off very strong with Michael Schofield, and I think I would say he peaks in season 1, maybe season 2 as well. Again, I've not watched the original Prison Break in a long, long time. Probably 2013, I want to say, is when I last watched it all the way through. So, actually, I've only watched it all the way through once, and I think it was around that time. So, yeah, but still a really, really good character. All right. Oh, Fiona. Fiona from Shameless. I do miss Shameless, mainly because of Fiona. I loved her character. She was, for me, like, she definitely has a lot of down moments where I would say her character is kind of annoying. She does a lot of things that you don't particularly agree with, as with all the characters of Shameless, but I would take a bullet for Fiona, without a doubt. She deserves so much better. And she is, she owns all her, well, she'll own her own actions. She kind of should own more of her own actions. I guess she kind of gets herself into situations that she put herself in, but I will say, like, she was dealt a pretty rough hand with some of those family members. Having Frank Gallagher as your dad, can you imagine? But yeah, I'll take a bullet for Fiona in a heartbeat. So, despite all the problems, we'll go with Elle from Death Note. I won't spoil. We're not going to spoil any shows here. There might be slight spoilers for certain shows, depending on what I want to talk about, but I'll try to avoid, like, major spoilers. But Elle, when does he come into the show? I think he comes in, like, kind of early. I can't remember the exact episode. I want to say he's not in, like, the first few episodes, though. That could be wrong. I did react to every single episode. What was it, like 37 episodes as well? But I think he comes into it, I'll say episode 5 or something, and he completely changes the entire tone of the show. Like, it was really great up to that point, and then he just instantly, for me, became the best character. And I kind of went into Death Note knowing that Elle was one of the beloved anime characters for sure, but I can see why. He made it far more interesting than it would have been without him. I love the mind games that he kind of has with Light. He actually feels like a smart character. He's a smart character that feels like they are actually smart. Like, there's so many things he comes up with that I couldn't even figure it out when he was explaining it half the time. So I'm going to say Elle, amazing. I wouldn't say an icon. I mean, he's like an anime icon, I guess, but we're going off, for me personally, I'll say an amazing character. He's not one of my absolute favourites, but I can see why it has the reputation that he does. So, yeah, really, really great character. We're starting good so far. We haven't had a bad... Again, there might not be many stinkers on here, but there's got to be a few. John Locke. Oh my god. From my favourite TV show of all time, Lost, of course. This was a hard one for, like, how to pick the character to pick for Lost, because it's like, it'd either be Jack Shephard, Sawyer, Kate, or Locke. I feel like would be the maybe Hurley would be in there as well. Like, they're the 5, like, main options, I feel. But I feel like Locke just really... Between Locke and Jack, I say, are like the two that really represent what the actual story of Lost kind of is. And then this image of him with the light and the dark, as he's kind of talking about. So it was just like the plot of Lost in a nutshell. He's hard. I mean, for me, iconic icon at least. Don't know if I'd quite take a bullet for John Locke because, I mean, again, don't want to spoil stuff, but he is, for me, like, one of the greatest TV characters of all. And again, the actor Terry O'Quinn did such an amazing job with that character. Every, like, kind of speech he goes on, or any, like, time he's trying to give Jack some wisdom, I'm just locked into it. I actually just rewatch certain scenes with John Locke regularly, where he's just being like, oh, it's never been easy, or he's got the walkabout reveal, all that stuff. Him just hunting, like, he'll have a random episode where he's just off hunting boar or something, and that's always entertaining. So, yeah, I really love John Locke. Am I a little bit biased with that? Sure, because Lost, again, is my favourite show of all time. But, yeah, it's John Locke. So, iconic icon. Oh, I didn't even grab anyone there, so that's fun. Oh, Michael Scofield. Definitely not Michael Scofield. Michael Scott. You have to take a bullet for Michael. He's so... Would he do the same for you? Definitely not. Is he technically maybe the worst boss you could possibly have in terms of actually wanting to get the job done? Yes. But he is one of the funniest sitcom characters of all time, mainly because of Steve Carell. I mean, he just embodies that role so much. Like, there's so many examples of this in probably this list, but when you think of Steve Carell, you can't help but just think of this character. Genuinely funny, and I mean, it's a spoiler. I mean, the last 2 seasons took a major dip. I mean, you can see what the show was like without him as well. So, yeah, I'll say I'll take a bullet for him. Maybe not be wise to take a bullet for him. He'd probably be more iconic icon, realistically. Yeah, I'd put him there. I don't know if like he'd return the favor. I mean, would Fiona take a bullet for me? Definitely not, but I'm fine with that. Whereas I'd be a bit upset if Michael didn't take it for me. But yeah, amazing, amazing character. God, we are doing well. We are doing well. I want to get like a stinky character though. Oh, I thought we grabbed like Hannah from. Let's go this one. Buy. We got to get a buy in there. We got to get a buy. That is Madison from Pretty Little Liars Original Sin or Pretty Little Liars Summer School. If you just watched the recent season, just she's the best character in that show, I feel. But when you're like putting her up against some of these, who do you think someone genuinely does, by the way, prefers this character to Walter White? That's something that's definitely in someone's brain. So yeah, just not much to say about a character. I think, to be fair, like some of the characters definitely do have good moments in that show. I felt like she, in season 1 though, was pretty bearable, whereas a lot of the characters in season 1, they got better in season 2, but season 1 they were pretty annoying. But then there were some characters who were fine in season 1 that were annoying in season 2, so I don't know. But she's just there. She's like, again, compared to some of these characters, she exists. She does the story, she does the plots, but there's not really much going on with her actual character that I can say I'm going to defend with. So our first buy character goes to surprisingly and shockingly to Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. So which I don't think is like a god awful show. It's fun, but Brooke Davis from One Tree Hill. Would I take a bullet for Brooke Davis? I feel like seasons 1 to 5, Brooke. To be fair, Brooke was consistently, for me in One Tree Hill, the best character. I feel like sometimes it was Peyton, sometimes it was Haley. I mean, Dan Scott. I did actually contemplate, do we do Dan Scott or Brooke? But I feel like the overall majority, when they think of One Tree Hill, they probably think of Brooke. I don't think I'd take a bullet for Brooke. And I don't think I'd say iconic. I mean, she's iconic in the world of teen dramas, I think. Like, she is one of the better characters, but I don't think she's like extremely well written. I think she is well written, but I don't think she's like masterfully well written or anything, which is fine. I don't go to One Tree Hill for masterfully written characters or anything, but I'll say amazing. I really do love Brooke as a character. This kind of annoys me that the bar here is slightly, if I have to see it. Oh, is that because I've got too much writing here, actually? Okay, let's get rid of... Do we just say amazing or do we say bow before thee? We'll say bow before thee. Let's get rid of the word amazing. What if I get rid of the... No, that doesn't work. Yeah, that's why. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. I need it to look pristine. But yeah, I love Brooke. Great character and pretty consistent all the way through. I think there's definitely stories with any show that goes on for 9 seasons where it kind of gets a little bit stale with the character, which is probably what stopped me putting her in like the top tier. But yeah, she's still pretty great overall. All right, here we go. We have Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. He actually has a really strong arc all the way through. I really actually like what they do with Jax. I think like Sons of Anarchy as a show definitely has its ups and downs. I think like seasons 1 and 2 are pretty great. 3 is a bit of a low. 4 and 5 are great. 6, I don't know, 6 and 7 I'd say are pretty good as well, actually. I think overall Sons of Anarchy, like, it's more individual stories, I feel, with that show where it has its down moments. But Jax, and don't get me wrong, Jax has those down moments as well. But I think when you get to like season 6 and 7 and they really kind of reach that peak with his character arc, you kind of appreciate the earlier moments in like seasons 1 to 4 with him as well. Like when he starts to do more darker stuff and get more involved with the club. So yeah, I'm gonna say, honestly, I really like Jax as a character. I think like there's times when I watch Sons of Anarchy where, and I think more of the show where I think it's just so goofy and it's like dead American. But that's kind of the point. I mean, it's about a motorcycle club, so I don't mind it. But when I put Jax to one side, like I wouldn't put Sons of Anarchy in the top tier, but Jax as a character, I would put up there. I used to have a poster of Jax just on my wall back in the day, so yeah, I really love Jax. All right, let's go with Clark. Clark. What's his last name? Like Murphy? I don't even know. From the 100 though. Clark. Again, it was between her and Bellamy, I feel, for the 100, but Clark is the main character, so I thought we'd just go with her. Even though I probably prefer Bellamy as a character. I'd say she's not earned by, but I'd say we've got her first pretty good. She's a pretty good character. I'm not blown away by her. I think is it season 2, which was like the peak of the 100, or like, again, seeing her go from season 1 and then you see how she is at the end of the show. I think Clark does have a good arc there. I just think the writers didn't know what to do with her a lot of the time, and she was just ended up doing the most random stuff. And then I know it's a sci-fi show, of course, but there were some things they did in the later seasons that were just a bit all over the place. But overall, I do like her as a character. I just want to say she's like she's not a character that I think of all the time or anything. So yeah, I do actually. Sometimes I have the urge to go back and rewatch the 100, because I always say like seasons 1 and 2 back to back. Something about season 1 as well. I really love that kind of feel of them, Lord of the Flies, where they first land and they have to build their camp up, and then they're learning to deal with being in the world by themselves for the first time. Season 1's very, very cheesy, and then again season 2, where it actually gets to, I'd say, the best season, maybe apart from season, is it 4 or 5? That's really, really strong as well. But yeah, Clark, pretty good character overall, just not someone I think about a lot. All right, Nora from Scam. There'd have been a time where if I did this tier list 5 years ago, she'd be there instantly. Honestly, I loved and still do really love Nora as a character. I've not gone back to rewatch Scam. I mean, a lot of these shows I just don't go back and rewatch because I just don't have the time. But I am rewatching Game of Thrones at the moment, so there is that one. But Scam, I will go back to it at some point. I think maybe in the next couple of years, because it is very short as well. I could probably get through it in a couple of weeks, realistically. But I think it's what it is as well. It's like it's still, you can't get like a physical release of Scam. I don't think. Like, how are they not on like Blu-ray or DVD or something? Maybe they are, but I don't think they are in the UK. I'll say Nora. I can't believe I'm putting it here. I really can't. But when I look at Scam in hindsight, I feel like Isak's probably the more iconic character of Scam. I mean, everyone loves Isak and Evan, but for me, Nora was my favourite season. I know it's like the whole controversy of me preferring season 2 to season 3, which I still stand by. I've always said I think season 3 is a better written season for sure. But for me personally, I just enjoyed season 2 more. I'll put it there though. Yeah. Again, if I'd have done this 5 years ago, she would have been in. I'd take a bullet for her. But in hindsight, I'm saying Swell, pretty chill character, which is still good. All right, who we got? Jack Bauer, my boy, my boy. I'm taking a bullet for Jack Bauer any day of the week. I'm taking a bullet for Jack Bauer any day of the week. He'd take a bullet for me. So, like, without a doubt, Jack Bauer would jump in for maybe not anyone, but for me, I've been very loyal to Jack Bauer since, what would be the year I watched Star 24? It was before season 6 was released, so that was 2006, I think, because that was like the writer's strike. It was a couple of years before that. I want to genuinely say I got into 24 in 2005, is what I want to say. So, I've been loyal to Jack Bauer for almost 20 years, and I will be loyal till the day I die. 24, I love that show. I'm very, very biased to it. I understand its flaws where, they always have to... We've got the main villain, but then there's another villain that we have to deal with in the second half of the season, and they kind of did that for majority of the seasons. But I just have so much fun with it. I love the concept of it. I have such a... This is so weird to say, because I don't know if like anyone else has this, but when I think of like CTU... I just get a cozy feel in my... I love like CTU as a building. Like I know the layout back to front, like all the little secret rooms they have and everything, and the interrogation rooms, the board meeting rooms, Jack Bauer's office when he does have an office. So yeah, I love 24. Jack Bauer, my boy. I'll take a bullet for you. As a character, is he the most well written? No, he's not. But I do actually stand by. Even if I wasn't biased towards 24, I still think Jack Bauer would be like a really well written character. Do they have maybe too many seasons of 24 where he kind of starts to do the same thing? And I think certain things and elements they actually do rush with Jack as well. I think they could have taken, as long as it is, maybe taken a bit more time with it. But yeah, Jack Bauer, my boy. All right. Ragnar from Vikings, or Ragnar. Never finished Vikings, as I've said before. I always get to around, I think I've gone through it about 3 times, and I always get to pretty much the same point, which I want to say is halfway through season 4, or is it halfway through season 3? It's like one or the other, but yeah. So I know what happens in future seasons, and I know the actual ending of the show as well. Like I've seen parts of the final episode, so I do want to go back and finish it at some point. I've heard it kind of does a lot of down moments as it goes on. Because is it 7 seasons? And they had that spin-off as well, like Vikings Valhalla, which I did the first 2 episodes of or something and didn't continue from there. But Ragnar is a character, I really like him. He has the parts I saw, I felt like he had a good arc. I like that he's questioning Christianity and like religion, and he had that priest guy that he was talking to. I think he's a priest that he's talking to throughout. I liked his relationship with Lagertha, I think. Again, I've not watched it in a long time. But from what I remember, I'd say Ragnar, a lot of people would put him in here. I know he's like regarded as like a very beloved character in that realm. For me, especially because I haven't finished the show, I'd say he's maybe there. I mean, maybe Bow Before Thee. Like, because I'm thinking of the scenes he does hold weight, and he does, like, again, props to the character, he does command kind of every scene he's in as well. So maybe he's more there for me. Yeah, I definitely prefer him to these 3, 100%. So we'll put him up there for now. Bow Before Thee for Ragnar, and that sounds kind of fitting as well. So next up we have, I'm a blank. Eric from True Blood, plays by, is it Alexander Skarsgård? I think is like the main one who's in Succession and stuff. Again, could have gone with Suki or Bill. I feel like 2 other characters, but Eric for me, he's kind of, Eric I think is the most iconic character of True Blood. I think like Suki and Bill are the 2 mains, but Eric's the more beloved character, I think. So and is played by a Skarsgård. So yeah, I remember if you'd have asked me again maybe like 15 years ago when I was like really, really into True Blood, I've rewatched True Blood I think maybe 5 times, and kind of like with what show is it? With Vikings, I always kind of get to around the same point where they start introducing fairies, and I think season 4 or something. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of done. Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of True Blood are genuinely really, really great. And season 4, I think I actually finished season 4. Because is that when they introduce is that when they introduce the werewolves? But I think it's like when they have what's his name? Like the main werewolf guy. I think he's it. So maybe I did season 4 as well, and it's season 5 that I kind of stopped watching. Because it does start to get a little bit silly and ridiculous. But Eric is a character, very strong in the early seasons, and then he kind of gets a little bit stale, I think, as it goes on. He's kind of like with Damon for me, where he's just kind of doing the same thing, not to the degree of Damon. I think they're taking the absolute piss with Damon's character, but Eric kind of had similar moments like that. I think one thing they did, I don't want to spoil it, but they did something interesting with him in, I think it was season 3, that kind of switched him up a little bit, which I thought was smart. You know, I don't typically like the thing they did with him. I don't typically like those types of stories. But with that show, I felt like it was the one exception where it kind of worked. Eric, though, I'm going to say swell. He can chill. He can definitely chill. I mean, he's chilling right there in that picture, to be honest. But not on a Bow Before Thee kind of level for me. If I'm going off just seasons 1 and 2, I mean, it might be up a little bit more, but based on the 4 or 5 seasons I watched of him, He definitely had some. But again, like season one, like that moment where he first introduced to Eric, it's like boom, it comes at the perfect time for that show as well. So, all right. Levy, I've got a tattoo. I mean, you kind of see there. It's not the exact image. Oh god, I can't even get it shown. Well, it is there. You saw bits of it. I mean, based on that, to have a tattoo of her, you'd think I'd take a bullet for her. I will say I've only watched Black Lagoon the one time, so I do want to go back and rewatch it at some point. I said when I watched it, to me it felt like if 24 was an anime and she was Jack Bauer. That's kind of what it felt like. So obviously I don't love it as much as I do 24, but I remember watching like the first few episodes and I was like, oh my god, it's just like them going on missions and shooting pistols at bad guys the whole episode pretty much. There's more to it than that, of course, but I remember that's what I really loved about it. And she was just such a cool character. Really, really cool character. And I think it was only like 24 or 25 episodes, so I think they had a couple of OVAs as well. But very fun. I'd watch more of it if more of it came out. I mean, I can't remember exactly how it ended, actually, to be fair. Could they do more? I don't actually remember how it ended specifically. And again, there's OVAs, so maybe there's more to it than that. And I think I watched one of the OVAs. But her as a character, I mean, there's not much to her. They give enough to her in the episodes that they have, where you do end up really being on board with her and the main character as well. But no one thinks of the main character when they think of Black Lagoon. They always think of her. And like I say, she just oozes that cool factor. She's a very, very cool character. So I'm going to say bow before thee. Again, I have a title of her, so you'd think she'd be up in Iconic Icons, but if I'm being realistic, I'm going to put her there. Yeah. I need to rewatch Black Lagoon at some point, and I definitely will at some point, so that's smart. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't even know the character's name. I know one thing and one thing only, and that is Linda Cardellini, so... I have nothing else to say about the character. She's from Dead to Me. That is, of course, the character we have here. But the character, let's say it's played by Meryl Streep, who is a great actress, but I don't have any emotional attachment to, would be here. Maybe here at a push. But, unfortunately for you, this character is played by Linda Cardellini. And I am putting Linda Cardellini anywhere below the top tier. So that is where the character, use our brains a bit here, the character is in pretty good. Maybe pretty swell. But Linda Cardellini. You think I'm putting Linda Cardellini down in pretty good? Come on, guys. All right. We've been going for 30 minutes. I'll go for an hour and then we'll have a break. I mean, you went, oh, love from you. Again, main character Joe Goldberg, but I think most people love this character. And we had the last season of You, is that right? They've filmed the last season, so that should be coming out soon. Trying to what can I say? Again, I love the actress. I think she's great. She was brilliant in Haunting of Hill House. The limited amount she kind of had in that. And I have seen her in something else, I feel like I've seen the actress in something else. I know she just did a play with Kendall from Succession. But the actress, I can't remember what it is, but she's great in pretty much everything that I've seen. I want to see her in more things as well. But as for Lover's character, she comes into it in season 2. Is it 2 or 3 she comes into it? Huh. Or is it 2 and 3? I think it's 2 and 3. I can't remember. But yeah, she always was like the most fun. Again, she's just like the woman version of Joe Goldberg's character. But she was a really fun character to have overall. Again, I won't say I'm like... It's not the most in-depth character that you're ever going to have. She just kind of bounced off Joe Goldberg very well. Like the yin to his yang. I'll say... Do I prefer it to Joel from The Last of Us? I mean, that's probably not. I'd probably say probably there. Yeah. No, I'd prefer Nora. Yeah. I wouldn't say... is she pretty good? No, I'll put her in so she can chill. I mean, would you want to chill with her? She might literally stab you in the back. I'd actually kind of be okay with that as well. So yeah, we'll put Love Quinn in swell. Nick from Heartstopper. Season 1, I'd have gone pretty good. Season 2, he definitely got better. Heartstopper as a whole, I think I preferred the second season to season 1. I was one of the very few who wasn't head over heels in love with season 1. I did think it was good, but season 2, a bad thing. They improved on a lot of things, including Nick as a character. So season 3 is actually soon. I think that's next month, October or something. I'm gonna say not Bow Before Thee. We ain't getting that high with it. I don't even know if I'd say he's like Swell You Can Chill. We have only had 2 seasons of him, and again, I was not in love with. He was the best character of season 1, but I wasn't like in love with his character. And then again, season 2 better, but I'll say there. He's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good character. I know a lot of people are very, very attached and in love with him and Joe Locke, I want to say, but I think that's the actor's name. Charlie is the character's name, which I completely understand. I completely get that and understand why. But just me personally, as a character, he's pretty good. I like him, but I can't put him much higher than that yet. Season 3, if season 3 is as good as season 2, or hopefully better than season 2, then I probably would bump him up maybe a tier. But as of right now, and again, like some of these characters, like saying, you know what? Actually, looking at who's actually on your swell, I'm going to put him up in this tier, actually. Because I think he's better than Love. He's just wholesome. He's just like a wholesome character. Like, I have to look, like, he's not the most in-depth, the most interesting character on this list, but he is just like the wholesome character. I mean, that is Heartstopper as a whole. It's just like the wholesome show, which I like about it. But yeah, so maybe we'll go here, actually. Yeah, I've changed my mind. There he is. That row's already getting a bit filled up, but all right. House from the show. House. Again, I never finished House. I got to season 6, which I think was like the penultimate season. Very close to the end. This kind of is another medical drama. But when I look at like the main characters of Grey's Anatomy, I'm like, how was Grey's Anatomy more popular than House? I mean, Grey's Anatomy, I guess, is more accessible, but House is just... And House as a character is just better than any character from Grey's Anatomy, if we're being real. He's such a great character and so well acted as well. Funny. I think the dialogue with his character is very engaging, and actually has a really great arc throughout actual character development, which characters in Grey's Anatomy do have as well, but I think they like backtrack on it a lot as well. I feel like House kind of does have a start, middle, and even though I've not seen it, they were leading up to an end, whereas Grey's just kind of is going to be going on forever. It seems to be. Okay, I'm going to say House. I could make a case for Iconic Icon. I've not finished the show though, so I think that's kind of stops me from wanting to put him there. I'm going to say Bow Before Thee. Bow Before House. Very interesting character, and actually has like a lot of character details that, like, they keep adding new things to his character that don't feel thrown in out of nowhere, and then keeps him interesting instead of just making him feel like the same character over and over and over again. So yeah, really love House's character. I need to finish that show at some point, and I've said that about a few shows now, but I will at some point. Oh, what's the character name though? I'm not even going to get the character name, to be honest, but the cool guy from Shogun, the cool character from Shogun. I forgot that. I mean, it literally came out this year. I've not rewatched it since, but it for me was an instant 10 out of 10. The show was as a whole, and he was just such a. I mean, he's such an amazing actor. I feel like every character this actor plays is cool because he's just like a cool actor, or instantly. I don't care who the character is. And apparently they're going to be doing a season 2. Like, when it came out, it was a limited show, like it ends here, but I guess it got so popular. Maybe they'll do it in like the Shogun universe, but it's like, I assume it'll be a whole bunch of different characters and a different cast and stuff. So, I mean, risky. You kind of might taint the Shogun name, kind of how like True Detective has been tainted now with other seasons of that show. But yeah, I'll say as a character, Very, very well written. I won't say I don't have like an emotional attachment to him. I won't say I'm in love with his character, but for that show, he was for me maybe one of the three best parts about it in terms of the three main characters. So I'll say Bow Before Thee. Like he's a better written character than a lot of these characters that like Brooke, but I just prefer. I've had 9 seasons with Brooke. Obviously, I prefer, but I'll say he's probably better than Elle and Ragnar for me. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Better, character than these two for sure, but yeah, I just prefer these ones. Bow Before Thee. What a cool guy. All right. Jessica Jones. I don't have much to say about Jessica Jones. I don't love these Marvel shows, to be honest. But out of all of them, I think Daredevil seasons 1 and 2, I never watched 3, but seasons 1 and 2 were actually great. And Jessica Jones season 1, I thought at the time was spectacular. I think my rating on it's changed a little bit. I think when I first watched Jessica Jones season 1, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think I'd like say more. It's like an 8 out of 10 now. And they did correct me if I'm wrong, they did a season 2, which I never got around to watching. I didn't hear season 2 was like all that. Also, Punisher season 1, to be fair. Punisher season 1 was also like maybe a 9 out of 10. Who we have Frank Castle down there, so we'll get to him at some point. But Jessica Jones as a character, played by Kristen Ritter. I'd say, I mean, the villain, David Tennant's, I forgot the character's name, but David Tennant's character in that show was so good as well. Like, their back and forth, so much fun. Even if you're not into the Marvel shows, which I'm not as well. I know they've done so many since as well. But for me, even I was fully into Jessica Jones, fully into Daredevil, and fully into the Punisher. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, not so bothered about, but those main 3 were really, really good. I'll say maybe pretty swell. I could say Bow Before Thee, but I don't know. I look at those characters and I'm like, she's not on that level for me personally. One of the characters is out of Daredevil, Punisher, and her, but it ain't her. And actually, argue she's the weakest. I think she had like one of the best shows, but as a character, maybe there. I'll say there. Okay. Here we got Milo, my boy Jack from This Is Us. Oh, recency bias. Maybe I only finished the show this year. I think I finished it early this year. It was like April or something. I love This Is Us. I always say it's one of my least viewed reaction shows on the channel. Go and watch those reactions. I don't. It's so good. Even if you don't watch my reaction, just like go. If you've seen the show before, go rewatch it. If you haven't seen This Is Us, go and watch This Is Us. It is a 10 out of 10. Just a great story on life and all these characters I'm so in love with, but especially Jack. I think when I think of This Is Us, it's between Rebecca, Jack, and Randall for me. I'd say it's between those 3 characters, but I felt like Jack was the first one that I got really attached to, and he stayed throughout. And again, Milo just plays him so well. I'm going to say, for me personally, This Is Us is a 10 out of 10 as a show. I'm going to say Jack, though, is like here. Not quite iconic icon for me. Maybe I need more time. Maybe I need to rewatch the show again. Because again, these shows here, apart from Linda Cardellini, I've watched like certain episodes multiple times, but This Is Us I have only watched all the way through once. And I don't think I'll watch it again for a while just because I've only just finished it. But I adore the show is a 10 out of 10. Jack as a character, I'd say, is Bow Before Thee. I don't think he's like insane. I think he's very well written. I think with This Is Us, though, there's like, you'll have like even sometimes, for example, season 5, where they kind of have characters do like random things that kind of feel a little bit thrown in there. But then I feel like the payoff of those stories are usually pretty great, which is why for me the show is a 10 out of 10. It's like if I had to pick a flaw with it, I do feel like with some of these characters and some of the stories, it feels a little bit like, oh, and then this character exists that we haven't mentioned at all, but we're going to tell you about. If I had to pick a flaw with it, that would be it. And Jack kind of has parts of that. But like I say, usually though, with the payoff of those stories always kind of feel worth it. So yeah, Jack, I love him. Oh, what's the character name? Literally the main guy from Clanad. Oh, I do know it. We're gonna search it. Okay. I'm actually gonna search this one. Follow me on Tracked if you don't already. Tomoya. Oh my god, Nagisa. Is that how many episodes there are? 44, is that it? Yeah, I gave Clanad like a 6 out of 10, but then After Story was a 9. And you can see the ratings here, like Clanad, normal Clanad, 76%, and then After Story, 90%. My god, what a show. The After Story is so good. You kind of have to watch this before After Story. I mean, yeah, still one of the. Yeah, I don't. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. Watch Clanad though. As a character, like I say, the original Clanad, not super impressed with him. Like he's fine. I'd say if we're going off normal Clanad, he's probably pretty good. But if we're going off After Story, and it's so hard to talk about his character without getting into spoilers. How do I talk about it? I feel like there's a moment in the show where there's nothing I can say without spoiling it. I'm gonna say though, he was here, start of After Story, like the first part of After Story, he's like here, and then towards the end of the show, probably up here. Above L for me, above him, yeah. Not above Broad though. So yeah, I'd say probably around there with Battle Before the he. I'll say this: the more the show goes, the more the show goes on, the better his character gets. That's the simple way of putting Clanad. Admit you kind of want to watch Clanad now just to see what I'm talking about. If you haven't already or don't know what I'm talking about, admit that you kind of do. All right, which you can go and do. Go do it. Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl, who I've met. I've met Ed Westwick. I don't know why I met Ed Westwick, but I did. Chuck Bass as a character, I mean, they do horrendously with his character in the first episode. If they were to redo that first episode, I stand by that. They would completely change up some of the things they did with his character. I think they tried to do too much in trying to make him the bad guy of season 1. I don't know why I did like he was the bad guy. And that always kind of hovers over his character. Like, they do all like they're trying to do redemption with Chuck and all this stuff. I get it. But I just think there's some things in the first episode that they just didn't have to do to make him that type of character. I'll say Chuck is pretty good. He's good. He's kind of like all the characters of Gossip Girl for me, where it's more the vibe and tone and the stories and the chaos of Gossip Girl that make it as fun as it is. And the relationship between Blair and Chuck is, really great. A lot of people say it's like one for the ages. But if we're talking about Chuck as an individual character, he's probably there. He's pretty good, but I'm not like in love with him. And again, I've not watched Gossip Girl since 2016, 2017. I don't know if it'll be a show I ever go back to. Maybe when I'm 50-year-old me might be curious to like watch some nostalgia shows and go back to it, but no time soon. So yeah, there you go, Chuck. You're pretty good. But compared to some of these, I don't know. All right, Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf, Styles Stilinski. Consistently the best part of Teen Wolf, very easily, even when he's not in the show, because there's like the more the show goes on, I feel like Styles kind of takes more of a backseat, which is unfortunate. But especially like season 3, I feel like season 4 onwards is where he kind of starts to not disappear from it, but you're not in it as much, and it's more about the other characters, which is like, yeah, great. But Styles, I'm gonna say, honestly, like Teen Wolf, I wouldn't rate that highly, but him as a character, if he wasn't in the show, this would not be a show people talk about. I'm sorry. Like, really? You're gonna talk about Tyler? What's the main character? Bro, I don't even know. And I'm not even gonna check. I don't know. You're gonna talk about him. Even though he has his moments as well, I'll admit. But Styles, I'm gonna say is around maybe like there. Yeah, maybe at the bottom of Bow Before Thee. He's just a fun character. Again, he's not the most in depth, but I like when they kind of did like evil Styles and stuff like that. That was really good fun. So he's just kind of like with Nick from Heartstopper, whereas he's just wholesome. He's just kind of like the perfect example of a sidekick with comedic relief and actually being funny. And again, a lot of that isn't really to do with the writing, it is to do with Dylan O'Brien. I think he's such a great actor who needs more. Can we give Dylan O'Brien more roles, please? I've been saying this for like 5 years. And he has done some roles for sure, like American Assassin. You had that Love and Monsters film that he was in. But he has it in him. Dylan O'Brien has it in him to be up there as one of the best. And he's just not being given the roles. Oh, Tony Soprano. I mean, it's iconic icon. Come on. It's Tony Soprano. I wouldn't personally take a bullet for him because I only got to The Sopranos in 2015 is when I first watched The Sopranos. And I'll be honest, like when I first watched The Sopranos, I was like, I don't get it. Like I was into it, but I wasn't like into it. And then I rewatched it in 2021. I didn't rewatch all of it, but I rewatched some of it in 2021. I was like, I get it. So Tony Soprano, I'm going to say is there. I need to finish my rewatch because I did start the rewatch. I think I got to the end of season 2. I need to continue with it, but yeah, he's an incredible. The idea of a mob boss being in therapy, like Ep 1 straight away. That's like the mob boss is in therapy and he has to talk about his feelings. It's just such a cool idea. Like that alone, there's obviously so much more to it than that, but that's where you start with The Sopranos. It's just such a well-written show, such a well-written character. And my memories of what I did watch in 2015, not that this is like super long ago, it's only not even 10 years ago, but I remember that his character just gets better and better as it goes on. So, yeah, happy putting him there. Anne from Anne with an E. Still can't believe this show is cancelled. I look back on it and I'm like, how? You had like Ryan Reynolds tweeting his confusion about why it was cancelled, and maybe it was just my bubble. I don't know, but it felt like it was such a popular show. I'm still very baffled by that. And I remember when it was cancelled, like I was so dead set that it was going to get picked back up by someone else because it just felt like it was so obvious. But I guess maybe it wasn't as popular as I thought it was. I don't know. But Anne as a character, she 100%, even when I was doing the reactions, she 100% has moments where she is unbearable. She's a kid, so I get it. Like, I don't know how old she is in season 1, but she is a kid, so she's going to be annoying. But there's like some monologues and some moments that she goes on where you're like, you're literally face palming. It's just like cringe. But the reason I think she's a well-written character is because you understand why she acts that way in certain situations, like with her upbringing, the way she was like just bullied throughout all her child life, and then she's kind of thrown into this world where she actually has some people who care about her. Whoa. So yeah, I think because we didn't get a definitive ending with the show, I can't say she has like a satisfying. I do think she has a great character arc. I felt like there was more with her that we should have had with Anne's character, and with all the characters in that show as well. There was like more to be told that we never got, which is so. The show was so good. Anne with an E is such a fun show, but Anne as a character, I'm gonna say swell. Maybe again, Anne with an E as a show would be around up here, but her as a character, I'm gonna say is there. She definitely has a moments like that where she's pretty annoying, but there was more. Right, we'll do 3 more characters, and I'm gonna come back to the rest because there's still quite a lot to get through. I was like, David Tennant. Is that David Tennant from Jessica Jones? Why? But it is the Doctor, of course, from Doctor Who. I'll be honest. I've not watched Doctor Who since he left, and I watched the episodes live. So when was that? Let me get the exact, because I am gonna react to Doctor Who at some point for sure, because it just feels like one of the obvious shows that everyone has to react to at some point. But yeah, I watched seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then he left. So the last time I watched Doctor Who, Ellie, if you want to lick your bum, do you want to go do it out in the hall? Yeah? Okay. 2008. So a bit of a while, like over 15 years ago I watched Doctor Who. But yeah, so when I do react to it, there'll definitely be some of the, like I recognise this guy, the Poison Sky. I don't remember many of these episodes though, actually, to saying that. This season's a bad example. I don't remember any of these episodes. I gave it a 6. Season 3 though, oh my god, season 3 was so good. Is this one with Blink? Oh, even that image gives me nightmares. Blink. I can't wait to react to Blink again. Again, I've watched that episode like 5 times, but it's such a good show. 42, I think. Yeah, so it'll be fun to go back to that show. And the Doctor, I know a lot of people would put him in. I'll take a bullet for him. I know he's like, especially in the UK, like the TV show character. I get it. Because I guess when you're talking about David Tennant's Doctor Who, you are just talking about like the Doctor as a whole, who's been in all the seasons. For me, I don't have that emotional attachment to him. Maybe I will when I kind of go back to the show, which we'll do. I won't say soon, but at some point we'll get to Doctor Who, because I do actually want to react to that show. We'll say for me, I have good memories attached to it for sure. Because again, I was watching it when how old would I have been when the show came out? 10, I think. Yeah, I think it was 10 when the show started. Or like the revamped version of Doctor Who, not the original, of course. I'll say there. And I know he's going to go higher when I go back to the show, but based on my memory of him, I know that's going to be the one that upsets people. But, I nearly took my breath away. I was like, oh, yeah, Ginny. No, that's not Ginny. That's Georgia from Ginny and Georgia. I'll be honest. I got to about 90 characters, and I was like, I need to make it 100. Ranking 90 characters doesn't have the same ring to it, and she was one of the 10 that I was like, okay, well, dude, I've only watched 6 episodes of Ginny and Georgia. Bye. Bye, honestly. She's the best character of the show. I think she's good. Like, she's good in the show of Ginny and Georgia, but where I'm at right now, it feels a little bit unfair at the moment to do this because I have not even finished season 1 of the show. But based on what I've seen, there's just not much to her character yet. They're kind of like showing some flashbacks. There's definitely something there with George's character, but I haven't learned that yet. And she just was a placeholder for one of the 10 characters I needed to make it 100, I'll be honest. So she's a bye character for me. I don't think she's bad. I don't even think she's a bad character, but it's comparing to some of these, it's just you got to go in and buy. All right, last character for me today, not for you. You can just go right to the next character. But Madeline, what's the character's name? I was about to say Susan. It ain't Susan. Oh my god. Madeline Klein, though, maybe one of the most attractive human beings in the entire world. What's her name, though? It ain't Susan. It's Sarah, isn't it? It's Sarah. Is it? I need to make sure. Outer Banks actually comes back this year, which I didn't think they were going to get season 4 out this year, but Outer Banks, is it Sarah? Yeah, it's Sarah Cameron, that's it. Yeah, season 4 comes out October 10th, so that's actually kind of soon. That's not bad to me. They got season 4 out within a year and a half. That's decent. I like that. I think a year and a half is like the perfect amount for a season to come back out. All right, I'll say Sarah is. I don't know. Maybe here. Honestly, if we're being real, like you could say that of all the characters from Outer Banks, is they're fun characters to watch, but as actual characters, like they're not. The most I can say about any of the characters from Outer Banks is they are fun to watch when I am watching that season of the show. But then beyond that, I do not think about John B. I don't think about Sarah Cameron. I might think about Madeline Klein, for sure. But Sarah as a character, I ain't thinking about Sarah Cameron. I ain't thinking about JJ. I ain't thinking about Kiara. Pope. None of these. I mean, Rave's pretty cool, but yeah, they don't go beyond when I'm watching that show. The season. So we got an 8, a 6, and a 7. Yeah, season 3 was, like I say, Outer Banks. I always have genuinely actually have so much fun when I'm watching and reacting to the show, because I think it is self-aware of what it is, which I appreciate about it. Which you can't say about a lot of Netflix shows, but I feel like Outer Banks, like, they're all kind of in on it. They know it's goofy, they know it's cheesy, but they know it's just like this kind of like teen adventure, and they're going out trying to find gold, and it's like, okay, cool, I'm on board. But beyond that, yeah, I kind of want to do one more. Frank, he was the one I was going to say is better than Jessica Jones. Actor John Barenthal does such a great job at this character. Just ruthless. Actually has a good like character arc throughout season 1. I'll say season 2 kind of brought him down a little bit for me. I wish I didn't even bother with season 2 because it just didn't add much. I don't think I even finished it. I think I got to like episode 8 or something. About when Netflix... Do you remember when Netflix, every season had to be 13 episodes exactly? Such a random number, but it was 13 episodes. And you'd always have those episodes that were just a little bit slow, because it was always 13 episodes and they had to be like an hour each. Whereas now Netflix seem to do 8 episodes instead, which I think is definitely better. I'd say he's better than Jessica Jones. I wouldn't say bow before thee for me. I think Punisher as a show is up there, but him as a character, I'd say, is maybe at the top of your swell and can chill. Have I put the Punisher below Styles from Teen Wolf? I have. and I'm sorry, okay? I'm not sorry, but yeah, that one is going to upset people. But I think he's a really, really cool character. I just, not in love with him. All right, I'm done. That's an hour for me. I'll do the next hour tomorrow or something. I'll see you then. All right, next up we have 2 days later for me. We have Jay Cartwright from The Inbetweeners. If you'd have asked me maybe 12 years ago, I'd have said maybe the best TV character of all time. Still a great character. He's very funny. I mean, all of the characters from The Inbetweeners are funny. They're like kind of British icons, I guess. But for me personally, I'll say bow before thee. Every time I rewatch The Inbetweeners, it still makes me laugh, and for me, he is the funniest character out of the main 4. Not really a character you'd want to be hanging around with personally, but that's okay. I'll put him maybe there for Jay. Great memories. He's given me some great memories, I'll give him that. And some great quotes that you still go for to this day, let's be real. Alright, who else? Alright, at the bottom, we've gone for Rebecca from Cyberpunk. Not 2077, that's the game. What was it? Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the Netflix show. I think they said as well they're going to be doing another Cyberpunk show. I assume it's like a different bunch of characters and stuff, but yeah, really cool character. Not the main, there was 2 mains obviously, but she was one that I just felt was like the coolest out of all of them. I mean, they were all great. All the characters from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, maybe one of the biggest surprises in terms of doing reactions to that show. But yeah, she was pretty great. We didn't get much with her. Obviously, Cyberpunk Edgerunners was, I want to say, 10 episodes long overall, and they were quite short episodes. I want to say they were about 20 to 30 minutes. I could be wrong on that, but I think they were like shorter episodes. We didn't get much time, but from what I saw, I'd say she's pretty swell. She can chill. Maybe, honestly, I don't know. Maybe she's quite far up, actually. Maybe she is really cool. Maybe there. She's a pretty cool character. Like I said, if you total Rebecca's screen time is probably like 30 minutes, but those 30 minutes, pretty cool character. Next up we have... Oh, I forgot her name from The End of the Fucking World. God, I've not rewatched that show because I finished a while ago now, which is weird. Only 2 seasons, correct me if I'm wrong, they only did 2 seasons, and it knew when to end, which I've always respected that show for. And they are like the 2 main characters. She's pretty cool, not one that I think of a lot as a character. But I think it's like she's fine as it starts, and then there's like a point halfway through season 1 where she becomes like a really great character, and then that doesn't really let up until the end of the show. So I'll say pretty swell, but I just don't have like a big emotional attachment to a character. So I'd probably put her at the bottom of swell. Maybe, yeah, no, she's better than Chuck and. No, I prefer Clark, and I'm gonna put Clark above Chuck Bass, and I'm gonna bring her to there. Honestly, I just don't think about her a lot. I think when I'm watching the show, I think she's like a really good character, but then beyond that, even that show as a whole, like I just don't. I know it's like very beloved and kind of one of those classics that people go back to a lot on Netflix, at least. But for me, maybe I need to give it a rewatch. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I genuinely do prefer Clark and Chuck to her. So. But she's still pretty good. She's still a pretty good character. Oh, Cassie from Skins. Maybe my first... Not my first TV crush, because I feel like when I can't remember exactly who it was when I was younger. It was someone from a Pixar film. Maybe it's like, the daughter from The Incredibles or something. I feel like it was probably her when I was younger. But then when I was a teenager, Cassie was my first crush as a teenager. Looking back at Skins now, maybe a bit more problematic than I remember her being. But that's like all the characters in Skins, honestly, because when, not just me, but everyone in the UK, when we were growing up, we were like, we want to be just like the characters from Skins, not realising that they were just doing drugs 24/7, committing crimes and being on the verge of death every morning that they woke up. But they always looked like they were having fun while doing it, and that was the important part. Cassie from Skins, I'm going to say not quite iconic icon. Like the 15-year-old me wants to put her in iconic icon because, like I said, first teenage crush or one of the first for sure. But as a character, looking at it in hindsight, I'd probably say she's more like here. Still pretty great. Still a really great character. One of the more fun characters of the show. And then she kind of falls off a little bit in season 2, where they kind of go through that phase stuff. But yeah, I really like the character. I need to rewatch Skins at some point. I've seen clips again since, and I think they're the clips I see where I'm a bit like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe some of these characters are a bit problematic, but still a great show, and I still think Cass is pretty great. All right. Pito from Hunter x Hunter, who we have... Right there. Skidded just under Gara. Yeah, I picked her as my character from Hunter x Hunter. I think there's like 20 amazing characters you can go for Hunter x Hunter, but Pito for me, one of my favourite villains in anime. Really, really love the character. She didn't come into the show until kind of late. I want to say like 2/3 of the way through, but I remember when she just came in. I mean, literally here, she just has like some guy's decapitated head on her lap. She's just a cool character. Again, not going to quite say iconic icon, but I will say bow before thee. And I feel like if you don't bow before Pito, she will probably chop your head off. So probably wise to do that. I'd say for me, maybe there. Just below Brooke. Brooke and Pito side by side. That's kind of fun. But yeah. Actually, since we last did this video, we got announced that One Tree Hill is coming back. So Brooke, we'll be getting a lot more of Brooke 20 years later after the original show. So that happened in the last 24 hours. All right. Next up, we have main character. Genuinely forgot his name. Main character from Squid Game. Won the Emmy for Squid Game, which I thought was absolutely wild. Actor did a great job in Squid Game, but the Emmy for the year above Bob Odenkirk, sure. Honestly, he's pretty good. I don't think about, when I think about Squid Game, I don't really think about the main character. Like, oh yeah, how amazing was that main character? I mean, he was cool in the show. I actually think the character, again, don't know her name, don't know anyone's name in Squid Game because I didn't watch it for the names. It was just how are they going to die, and I think we'll all do the same when Squid Game season 2 comes out in the next few months. But there's better characters than him. I just feel like he's the main character, so we'll go with him. Honestly, I think there is actually perfect. He's pretty good. I don't think he's a terrible character. He's just not one that I think about a lot. But that might change with season 2. Maybe season 2 they'll make him one for the ages. Who knows? Daredevil, without the mask on. Again, really like Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones. I'd say Daredevil as a character for me. There's definitely some episodes where I won't say I'm like bored by his character, but I'd say I'm like less interested in. But I guess you could say like any character with any TV show ever. There's always going to be episodes where you're less interested than other episodes. But I don't know. I guess I just kind of felt like it was worth saying when it came to Daredevil. I guess it is that 13 episode Netflix thing they had to stick by as well. I think there was just some episodes where he wasn't really doing too much. And again, not rewatched Daredevil, surprise, since it came out. I never even watched season 3 when that came out. But they are doing a new one for Marvel under Disney with 18 episodes, I believe. Daredevil Born Again or something. I actually hope that's pretty good. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I might do. I wouldn't react to it, but I might watch that depending on what reviews it kind of gets in. I do prefer him to Jessica Jones. I prefer Punisher to him, so he's not going above him. I'd say maybe there for me. Matt Murdock, Daredevil. I know a lot of people would have him right at the top. Completely understandable, but for me, I just don't have that attachment to those characters. But he's still pretty good. And I'm glad that group is coming back. Summer from the OC. I just watched an episode of the OC about an hour ago, and she was in it doing what Summer does, which is teen drama stuff. Honestly, I could have picked Seth between Summer and Seth, but I think Seth. I prefer Summer. I think if I had to pick my favorite character from the OC, it would be Summer. But honestly, or maybe Sandy. Sandy is pretty great as well. But Summer, I feel like everyone. Most people know who Summer is if you're in the TV shows of that era, I guess. I'm going to say there. She's pretty good. She doesn't do anything out of the ordinary for teen drama, love triangle option number 1 from most teen dramas. But yeah, she's pretty good. We've had, like I say, Brooke is just far better as a character. I feel like she's kind of similar to Brooke in a way, but she's just nowhere near as interesting. So yeah, I'm only a season and a half in, so that might change. But there's only 4 seasons of the OC. It's actually fairly short, considering how popular it actually was at the time. But yeah, I do like Summer. I just don't think there's like a hell of a lot to her character. It's just like her and Steph's romance. She has some things going on there, but there's not really too much. So yeah, she's pretty good. We have... Oh, what's her name? She's from The Leftovers, which is a really great show. Oh, Nora. Highly recommend The Leftovers. I've not watched the final season yet, but I will get to it. I think it's only 3 seasons long. It's very, very short. But very underrated show. Loved season 2. Season 1 was great, but season 2 was amazing. And I've heard season 3 is like really great as well. Nora as a character... Like, I've only watched it this year, so it's very kind of fresh in my mind. I'd say she's really good whenever she's on screen, but I feel like with Nora, an important part of her character, especially because I watched the first episode of season 3, which kind of ends on like a thing about Nora, which I won't repeat. It feels like I need to watch the rest of the show to really see her character arc kind of. I mean, obviously, but like, there's more to say with Nora's character, I feel, so this feels a bit unfair to put her here, but for now, I will say she's probably there for me. Pretty swell, she can chill, but I need to finish that show. It was so good as well, I don't even know why I actually stopped. Oh, Oliver Queen, or Green Arrow, or is it just Arrow? Or do they call him Green Arrow? I don't know. The show's called Arrow, I just can't remember what they call him. It's the Green Arrow. That doesn't really sound right. I think they'd probably just go... Do they say it's Arrow? What's his name in the show? I know he's Oliver Queen. What do they call him? Is it just Green Arrow? Oh my god, that's weird. Okay, anyway. Arrow felt like one of the first ones of the... It was the first CW kind of DC show. You got like that, then like The Flash came along, then Supergirl... Legends of Tomorrow, then they just overkilled it and did about 7 shows. It was like, okay, come on, Batgirl and all, something like that. I don't know. The only ones I watched was about 4 seasons of Arrow, 1 season of The Flash, and that is it. I didn't watch any of the rest. I've heard Superman and Lois is actually pretty good, but other than that, I've heard the rest is kind of a mixed bag. And Arrow started to fall off as well. I actually think seasons 1 and 2 of Arrow are actually pretty great, to be fair. They were really good fun. Season 3, decent. Then season 4, I was like, okay, we're just kind of doing the same thing now. And then I heard they kind of just stayed that way. I think they maybe had another couple of good scenes in there. But him as a character, he was fine. I'd say he's pretty good overall. Look, comparing him to like Jessica Jones, Daredevil, The Punisher, he's not on that level for me. So I'll say he's pretty good, probably about there. Like I say, some good moments in Arrow, and he has a fun few character moments, but that's really about it. And again, didn't finish the show, so. Next we have... Oh, I've just finished season 1 of Derry Girls. So Erin from Derry Girls. You could have really picked any of the main group. It's just for me, James and Ola and Michelle. They're like good, but I think I prefer Erin and no, what's the character's name? I forgot the other one from Bridgerton. But I had her here for Bridgerton, so I thought we'd just pick Erin. I really loved it. Well, I won't say I love Derry Girls. I think Derry Girls is pretty great. I'm excited to go into the second season of that show for sure. Erin as a character, maybe the funniest. I don't know, between her and her character for the funniest character for me out of the two. I will say I don't know much about Erin's character though. And I don't know if that's like the point of the show is to like really know these characters in and out. Like the finale of season 1 kind of gave me a lot more of the characters, which I really liked. But I'm curious to see what they do with these characters going forward. If it is just going to be like kind of like the In-Betweeners, where it is just going off comedy and what shenanigans are they going to get up to this episode, or is it going to get a little bit deeper than that? I guess we'll find out. I'd be happy either way with that, to be honest. So Erin as a character for now, I'll say is pretty good. Maybe there for me. Funny. I feel like the best part of Derry Girls is the comedy. It's not so much Erin's character yet. Again, that might change, but yeah, she's pretty good. We have Sylar. I always want to say Skylar, but that's from Breaking Bad. Sylar from Heroes. Great villain in the first season. I've unfortunately seen all of Heroes, so I have to include all of that with Sylar's character. I think he's great. The idea of a villain who can have as many powers as he wants, I think it's just like he has to kill the person with the power. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is like his whole thing. And he's just like hoarding all these powers. I think that's such a cool idea. And I wish they did more with that with Sylar as the show went on. But they did not. So yeah, and here, as we all know, Heroes peaked with its first season. I actually don't mind season 2 of Heroes, and I think season 3 is okay. Season 4, they kind of lost me on that one. I'll say Sylar is pretty swell. I mean, you wouldn't want to chill with him, but I'll say he's kind of there. I think he just reaches into the. If we're going off seasons 2, 3, and 4, he'd be here, like the bottom of pretty good. But season 1 is that good. I think it just boosts him up that extra tier just enough to get him into pretty swell. All right. Blaine. I was about to say Blair. Who's Blair? Blair's from Gossip Girl or Blair Witch Project, depending on what you want to say. Blaine. Is that his name? That doesn't even sound like a real name. Blaine. Blaine from the Warblers. I know it is. I'm just checking like what his second name is. Blaine. Plain Blaine. Does he have like a second name? Blaine Anderson. Okay, I never would have got Anderson. I mean, that was quite a common second name, I guess. But yeah, Blaine, he really fell off. Kind of like Sylar, just really fell off as the show went on. Like, I didn't think much about it when I was reacting to it, but the fact that is this spoilery? A little bit Glee spoilers if you care. The fact he dated his boyfriend's bully was a bit wild. At the time, I was a bit like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But now I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit wild. And like most of the characters from Glee, like towards the end of the show was just, I was so tired of it. It's like, okay, these characters are really just doing nothing. They're really doing nothing, or they're just doing useless shit. However, correct me if I'm wrong, he doesn't come into the show until season 2. Season 2, 3, and I will say 4, Blaine was pretty, especially 2 and 3, was pretty great, to be fair. So we'll say he's pretty good. I know a lot of people would have him right at the top. Fine. For me, I'll say better than Chuck, yeah. Better than Clark? No. Clark I had 6 seasons with, and I felt like didn't. Clark never really fell off that much. Where Blaine, he really fell off kind of towards the end of the show. Like I say, as did all the characters from Glee, but Clark kind of just she peaked and then just kind of flatlined a bit. I never say she fell off. She just kind of like was like whatever. So yeah, we'll put him there. Jinx, I mean, I know where Jinx is going instantly. I have a tattoo of Jinx on my leg. I will take a bullet for Jinx. Would she do the same for me? Absolutely not. Only 9 episodes of Arcane. We have the second and final season coming out in a couple of months, which I'm very excited for. But I can't show you the tattoo because it's right up on my leg. But I could try and. I don't know if I even have a picture of it actually. I think it was like one of the few tattoos where I didn't get a picture of it after we'd done it. But yeah, got the Jinx tattoo. Hopefully if season 2 ends up being shit, I might regret that tattoo. But Jinx as a character, I think is absolutely amazing. I love that we kind of got Arcane in 3 sections. Like you got the prologue to the main part of the show, then you kind of get the early parts of Jinx, and then where shit starts to go down in like the third of the season, I guess. Very, very excited for season 2. Based on the footage that they've released so far and the promotional stuff, it looks like it's going to be out. Hope if it's better than season 1, I'll be very happy. I mean, it should be. It should be better than season 2. I think part of me is like kind of gutted that they're ending the show with the second season, but then part of me is like they can go all out with that second season. And I'm sure we'll get more Arcane. It'll just be with new characters and stuff in a different part of the world. But yeah, Arcane. I'm taking a bullet for Jinx. Zuko. I'm a little bit torn here. Would I take a bullet for Zuko? He's definitely at least iconic icon. So at least, I'm not putting him here. I'm just saying at least he's probably there for me. Honestly, actually there. Honestly, I'd take a bullet for Zuko. Probably more so than Jinx. Linda Cardellini. We'll just technically put Linda Cardellini at the top. Jinx or Zuko? Who would I take a bullet for more? Zuko. It's got to be Zuko. Probably above Fiona. Not above Jack Bauer, though. So yeah, Zuko. I'll take a bullet. That character arc, one of the best character arcs I've seen. I still think Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the best shows that I've I mean, it's one of the best shows I've seen, but definitely in terms of reactions, I think it's still the number one. Because This Is Us was close, but I'd still say Avatar: The Last Airbender, out of all the shows that I've reacted to. Not out of all the shows that I've seen, but out of all the shows that I've reacted to on this channel, or it'd be the main channel actually, because it's going on the other channel. On the main channel, it's still number one. So, yeah, Zuko, you're all the way at the top. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I could honestly take a bullet for Buffy. Honestly. God, we can't have her at the bottom. We'd have like 4 blondes at the bottom. I've just realised. 4 blondes. Well, good God. Do you think... Oh my God. Can you imagine if someone just put Buffy on the bottom of the tier list? She's at least here. I prefer it to Jax. I prefer it to Michael. I prefer it to... I think Tony Soprano is the better character. I just personally prefer her to Tony. I know that's blasphemous. Would I take a bullet for Buffy? Yes, I would. I had to just like answer it in the moment. Boom. Ask the question, answer it straight off the heart. There we go. I would. Would I take a bullet for her more than I would Jinx? Probably not. Probably not. Jinx has been through a lot. So has Buffy though. I mean, honestly, all of these characters... Linda Cardellini, personally, maybe, I don't know if she's been through a lot, but all these characters have been through a lot. So I'm taking a bullet for the traumatized characters, it seems like. Yeah, that's fine. Buffy's fine up there. I don't need to say much else. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Frank Underwood, House of Cards. As we all know, the show completely fell off once Frank left the show. I mean, I say as we all know, like I watched the last season. I did not. I had no intent. I know how it ended. I know like certain scenes. I saw moments. I was like, Yeah, I'm good. I saw ratings for the last couple of seasons. I was good, but Frank Underwood is a great character. Kevin Spacey aside, we'll put like Kevin Spacey over here and just talk, like you can't deny his performance with Frank Underwood was. I mean, I don't know if he won an Emmy for it, but he definitely got nominated for it. It is great, great performance, really great character. So Kevin Spacey, I've removed you from Frank Underwood as a character, even though it's very difficult because you keep playing Frank Underwood even in your real life. One. Okay, we're locked back in. I'll say Bow Before Thee for Frank Underwood. House Cards definitely had its ups and downs for sure, even from what I had watched. But Frank Underwood stayed pretty consistent as a character. I'll say there for me. Yeah, really, really great character. Okay. Not Omar. That's the actor's name who plays the other character. Is it Edwin? Edwin, I think, something like that for the main character. Again, Young Royals is just a show that I really do not think of beyond having reacted to it, especially with like the last season. I was just like, okay, I maybe should have gone for August because August for me was the most interesting character of that show. Throughout the entire show, he was the most interesting. But season 3 just kind of felt like it was like. I'm glad they wrapped it up with the third season. I appreciate that they knew they didn't have much more of a story to tell, even though I think they might come back with like a special or something, like 3 years later, kind of thing, which would be fine, to be honest. I'd be curious what that's like. But yeah, they knew when to wrap it up, but there wasn't much to tell. It was like a very fine story overall. I think it was very, nothing awful going on, but nothing spectacular really going on either. So I'm going to say for him as a character, I'll put him at pretty good, but right at the bottom. I can't say he's quite like bi. I don't think he's like a bi character, but he's pretty good. And I'm still even then just a bit like, I don't know. He could be earned by. I do not think about his character whatsoever. He could join the blonde crew as well. I mean, he might kind of have brown hair, but I think it is blonde. Oh, I don't know. Bye. Do I care about him that much? Not really. I have more fun with Sarah Cameron as a character. But that is played by Madeline Klein, so that's a bit unfair. We'll leave him there. Yeah. I don't think he's quite bi. Oh my god, an icon. How to Get Away with Murder, Viola Davis, Professor Keating. What's her first name? Professor Keating. Oh, look. I wonder if on here if it just says Professor Keating. How to Get Away with Murder. I want to say no. That's definitely not it. All right, let's have a look. It is Annalise. Yes, I was like, I know. I was going to say like Anna or something, but it's like, that's definitely not that. Annalise, I was kind of close to that. God. Frank. I've not seen any of these actors do anything since this show. I guess, well, Gilmore Girls was before this, so that doesn't really count. But, yeah. What are we at? 8, 7, 7, 7. Yeah, How to Get Away with Murder was pretty consistent. Like I say, seasons 1 and 2 were peak, but it never really fell off completely. It just kind of had like episodes quite often, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Annalise Keating, I'm going to say iconic icon. I wouldn't quite take a bullet for her. She's not on that level for me, but she is iconic. I'll put her above Tony Soprano, honestly. Technically, yes, Tony Soprano is the better written character, I know. But yes, I feel like I have to say that every time I'm putting someone above Tony Soprano. Not above John Locke for me, so yeah, iconic icon, Annalise Keating. That show without her would be nothing. No offense. Like, she carries that show on her back for the most part. She's so good. Annalise and Viola, I kind of mean both of those when I say that. Rue, Zendaya from Euphoria. Apparently they are doing Euphoria Season 3, which I didn't actually even think would be a thing, because all those actors, I say all, like a lot of those actors are really blowing, like Sydney Sweeney is obviously blown up, Zendaya, she was kind of huge before Euphoria, but has blown up even more since, Jacob Elordi is huge now, so yeah, I'm not sure whether the actress who plays Maddie, I'm not sure what she's doing. I feel like she should be bigger. Maybe she is, I just haven't seen her in anything personally. But Rue as a character, that really, I thought she was amazing in season 1. I think she's still pretty great in season 2, just not as strong as she was in season 1. That was Euphoria as a whole, though. I guess you could say that about all of the characters in that show. Which I personally, I know a lot of people hate season 2. I didn't think season 2 was that bad. I thought it was fine. With actually a couple of really amazing episodes in there, but Rue as a character, I'll say is pretty swell. Maybe around there for me. Yeah, I'd actually put Nick above. No, I think there's more to Rue as a character. Yeah, I'd say there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And Zendaya again, amazing. You can't go wrong with Zendaya. Betty from Riverdale. Do I really put a 4th blonde? We need to get like a guy in here as well, because this doesn't look great. I've just got 4 blondes just right at the bottom. I need to purposely pick a guy from here that I think is ass cheeks. Surely there's got to be... Come on, someone pop out to me. Oh no. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'll put any of the guy characters down at the bottom. Oh yeah, I would. Yes, I would. This little guy from Percy Jackson. I do not give a shit about Percy Jackson. I'm sorry. The show was decent. I didn't actually. It was like whatever. But Percy as a character, I've pretty uninteresting. So there we go. Okay, I feel better now. But Betty will put. I mean, she's goofy as hell. All of Riverdale's goofy as hell. I'll say there, and then Percy Jackson can go. Maybe at the bottom? Maybe at the bottom. I really don't give a flying shit about Percy Jackson. It's between these. She's more fun. Like, I think he's a better character than her, for sure. But she's way more fun than Percy, who just walked around for 8 episodes. But also in the same way speed ran every location he was in. I found another guy as well who can go at the bottom. Tetris from The Idol. Boom. Straight at the bottom. My God. Do I need to say anything that I haven't said about Tetris and The Idol? All my reactions to that show are already on you. You can go check them out. But what an ass character. And they tried to do like the whole thing at the end where it's like, oh wait, but really this was what was going on in Tetris as well. This was... Okay, yeah. Alright then. Yeah, no one's going lower than Tetris. So, okay, there we go. We got some. They can all go away for sure. Right, let's go back to Closing Our Eyes anyway. Walter White, I mean, come on. Iconic icon. I can't even say I'll take a bullet for him, because no one's taking a bullet for Walter White. Like, really, apart from his own ego. Like, yeah. But he is, again, I technically consider this row here the top tier, technically. You know, but this is more like my personal bias on certain characters, which this whole list is, so that really doesn't even make sense. But he is, bro, I can't even add anything that nobody said 1,000 times before about Walter White, but he's just one of the most well-written characters in TV history. And again, when picking a character from Breaking Bad, you could pick anyone. I had to pick one character from Breaking Bad. Of course, it had to be between him and Jesse, but I just went for Walter White because it's Walter White, bro. 2 bold guys sat next to each other at the top, which is kind of cool. But yeah, he's just one of the most well-written characters with one of the most best arcs ever given to TV or ever given to media in general. And again, I've rewatched Breaking Bad, I think, like 6 times all the way through, and I'll continue to rewatch that show until the day I die. It'll be one of those shows I go back to every like 3 years or something. Even though I think it's been about 3 years since I last watched it, so I'm not feeling it just yet. I think maybe until next year. I did just watch this guy kind of review every season of the show, though, and they're about 2 hours long each video, so I feel like I've just watched it. Yeah, Walter White, iconic icon. Alaric? What was this dude's name? It wasn't Alaric, was it? That doesn't even sound right. Or was it? 'Cause when I say Alaric, I think of Alaric from the Vampire Diaries. I think it was Alaric though. Where is he? No, it wasn't. Alec! Alaric, Alec. You can kind of see why I thought that. It was between these two, between him and Magnus. I guess you could also say Clary between her. 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I was very generous with some of these episode ratings, wasn't I? Saying that, 7, 7, 4. Wow, what happened in season 2, episode 5? 5. Okay, fairs. Then we got a 9. A 9, an 8, an 8, a 9, a 7, an 8. Okay, yeah, I did get some generous ratings there. Which is, that's fine. I thought it was like dishing out 10. Oh, we did have a 10 for season 3, episode 2. I probably would not give that a 10 now if I went back to that episode. I just know that. But I'm not gonna change it. Then a ton of 8s, a few 6s, 9s, 7, 8, 8s, and then the finale was a 10. It's just fair. I'll stand by the one thing I'll say about Shadowhunters, which I've always said is the story is whatever with Shadowhunters, but I cared about all of these characters. I mean, I'll say that, I couldn't even remember this guy's name, but Alec, Magnus, Jace, Clary, Lilith was a bit later, but Lilith, Izzy, Mile came in season 2, I think. Luke, Simon, yeah, all these characters were. I was invested in their stories, and I've always said that about Shadowhunters. Like, it had its ups and downs for sure, but no matter whose story it cut to, I was engaged and enjoying it because I was just into all those storylines because of the characters. I've always said that about Shadowhunters, so yeah, I'm a bit kinder on the ratings, I think, than I would be if I went back to it now. Maybe I'd rewatch it now and be like, actually, yeah, these characters are ass. But anyway, this character I'd say is pretty. I've just said that, and I'm not even going to put him that high. Oh, God. Let's go. He's better than Clark. I'd say he's better than him, actually. Yeah, better than Sylar. Yeah, better than these two. But actually, to be fair, he's going up. He's not better than Joel. Again, TV show. Joel game would be at the top. Let's not get that twisted. We're talking TV show. And I've said that already, but I'll put him there. Yeah. Alright. Will I ever go back to Shadowhunters? Probably not. I want to keep it where it is. Damon. He's such a tricky one because Damon is he's never either the best part or the worst part about the Vampire Diaries, but he's a lot of the time like the best part of the Vampire Diaries. But I'm just at the point now with the Vampire Diaries where it's like a lot of the things they do with Damon is something you've seen 5 times before with his character. Oh, I'm upset about Elena, so I'm going to gobble up this innocent human being. Then I'll regret it once Elena calls me out for it. Stefan will be kind of pissed off at me. Bonnie will see me for who I truly am, a monster. And they'll just do that like at least twice a season. They haven't done it yet in season 6, but I'm waiting for it. I don't know. I mean, he's still doing stuff. But I guess it's a little bit different with like Alaric and making him forget memories and all that stuff. But yeah, so Damon, I think a lot of it's to do with Ian's performance of Damon. Like, he does just have that charm. He brings that charm to the character very well. Even with this, like, cheeky smile he's got going on here, he just plays that character so well, which saves Damon from just being, like, annoying. Because there's so many times where I'm just, like, annoyed by Damon, but then they manage to bring it back. So, he is a tricky one. Genuinely, there are times where he'd be around here. I think Damon is that good sometimes. There's other times where he's, like, down here, so he's better than Styles for me, but not as good as Ragnar. I think, again, I didn't watch all of Vikings, so that could have changed if I did watch all of it, but for me, Ragnar was like pretty consistent, whereas Damon just has too many ups and downs, which is his character in a nutshell. Like, his character does have ups and downs, I get it, but I think with the Vampire Diaries, it just, again, kind of like what I was saying about Shadowhunters, where I've always said this, I've said this with the Vampire Diaries, where if they just had 5 or 6 seasons of the Vampire Diaries and every season was 15 episodes or something, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. But because it's so long and the seasons are so long, you just inevitably get those moments where it's like, I've seen this before. This happened in season 3. It's just like, okay. So it is unfortunate because Damon could have been right further up here, but yeah, they just have too many down moments, I think. What's his name? John Hamm. That's the actor, but Mad Men guy. Cooper? No. Draper. Donald Draper. Have I just made up the word Donald? I didn't make that word up, but did I just make up that that was his name? Madman. That's not this Madman. I want to say Donald Draper. Don Draper. It's Don Draper, am I right? Yes. Oh my god. I haven't watched this in so long. When did I actually watch this? I want to say 2018. Yeah, July 2018. Damn. And I never even finished it. I got to season 3. It was really good. Again, it's one of those shows I don't know why I stopped. Again, I know he is considered to be up here. When people talk about like the greatest TV characters of all time, it's like Walter White, Tony Soprano, the main guy from Peaky Blinders, which I don't agree with at all, but sure. And then Don Draper is like typically up there. And then Ragnar is usually up there as well. But I'd say Ragnar's down a bit. Mad Men, I'm not going to put him that far up. I'm sure he is up here if I was to watch the entire show. But based on what I have seen, which is 2.5 seasons, 7 years ago, which is wild to say that that has been 7 years. That 2018 is 7 years ago. That's so depressing. God, that is depressing. I'm going to say he's like there, the top of swell for me. I will watch all of Mad Men at some point. Let me just finish my Game of Thrones rewatch, and then maybe I'll get to Mad Men. I'm not going to react to it, but I'll get to it. Wednesday Addams from Wednesday. This is entirely carried by Jenna Ortega's performance. Everyone has a crush. Everyone in the world has a crush on Jenna Ortega. That's like a fact. So that is a lot of what made Wednesday such a great character is Jenna Ortega. Because when I look at Wednesday, let's say Wednesday was played by someone else that we didn't even know. Let's say it's played by the actor who played Barb in Stranger Things. You know, is Wednesday that good? Sure, yeah. Wednesday is like good, I think. Is like fine as a character. I think if Wednesday was played by anyone else, she'd be like here. Oh, she's played by Jenna Ortega, so we're going to put her up a little bit. I still think I won't put her above this tier. I think she's a pretty good character. I'm trying to be fair, because Jenna Ortega I'd take a bullet for Jenna Ortega, of course, but if we're talking character, I'll say there for me. Pretty at the top of pretty good overall. Season 2 soon as actually I don't know what they haven't got a release date yet. I know they've finished or nearly finished filming it. Hannibal Lecter from Hannibal, played by Mads Mikkelsen or Michelson. I think it's Michelson. Yeah, amazing actor. I watched Another Round at the end of last year, gave that a 10 out of 10. I thought that was such an amazing film, and he was incredible in that film. He's great in Death Stranding as well, just shouting that out. I've seen him in something else as well. What is it? It's not The Hunt. I wanted to say The Hunt, but I never finished The Hunt. So it was something that wasn't that, even though he was good in that as well. I don't remember. It's somebody I've seen him in somebody else, but he's an amazing actor, one of the best, I'd say, that we have going right now. But they keep putting him in some really weird shit films at the moment. As for Hannibal, never finished it. I did seasons 1 and 2. I know season 3 came out. I think I was going to do season 3, but then I read that it got cancelled. So I never felt the need to finish it. I don't know if it has like a satisfying ending or not. But Hannibal as a character, I'll say... Oh, I've got hiccups. Maybe, but definitely above Joel. Definitely above Michael. Definitely above Jessica. I'd say up here. Definitely better than Eric. Better than The Punisher. They're actually kind of similar. They're not. I don't know why I said that. Just because they're a little bit menacing, I guess. I'll say better than The Punisher, yes. Probably there. Yeah, you're pretty good. Would I put him in Bow before Thee? No. No, because I prefer personally these 3 characters. So yeah, I'm good with him there. Winston from New Girl. I watched an episode of Winston. I wish it was called Winston. Of New Girl yesterday. We have 12 or 14 episodes left of the entire show, and I'm done with New Girl. Winston is the best part of New Girl for me, through and through. Where I'm at now, New Girl is in such a, like, not rut. I think it's had episodes that have kept it out of that, for sure, but he consistently, no matter even if the episode's bad, Winston will still make me laugh. I love Winston to pieces. He's such a funny character. I know a lot of people's like fan favorites for New Girl seem to be Nick. Seems to be like the number one typically. But my boy Winston. I'm putting Bow Before Thee. I'd say above this lot for sure. Definitely above Frank. Above Pito? No. Because unfortunately for Winston, he's also in New Girl. No, I do really like New Girl. I just think where I'm at now, it's like I'm ready for it to be done at this point. But that's more because of the characters and other storylines, not because of my boy Winston out here. So he's holding on. He's holding on. So yeah, we'll put him in Bow Before Thee. Right. Who do we have? Sukuna from... That's Sukuna, right? I've said that. I know it's right, but it doesn't sound right. I know it's right. Jujutsu Kaisen, is that how you spell it? Where's the TV show? Movie. The TV show doesn't exist. Can I just check? Is that looks like a live action? The stage? What the hell? The stage performance of it. Little Gojo here with some funky hair going on there. That's weird. Jujutsu Kaisen. Did I just spell it? It's there. Okay. Whatever. Itadori. Satoru. No, I'm not going to find it. There's too many names in this show. And because it's like the actors and not the character face, I can't just go by the faces. I'm like 90% sure I'm right. But anyway, amazing character. I didn't really care about Jujutsu Kaisen in season 1. I was like, yeah, it's fine. And he was cool in it, I guess. But then season 2, oh my god, he's going to be a menace. I mean, he already is, based on what happened in season 2. He already is a menace. Bow Before Thee? I throw him to this lot. No, because I prefer Rebecca, I'd say, so I'm going to put him there. I know that's blasphemous. Just give me till season 3. Let me watch season 3. Season 2 was amazing, but I still stand by that season 1 was okay. I know I'm definitely in the minority with that one, but season 2 was so good, though. I'd give season 2 I think I'd give it... What did I give it? Was it a 9 out of 10? Yeah. I was dishing out some 10s, I think, with this season. Let me see. Yeah, it's around here where it's like it was a good first half. I don't want to show off some of these ratings because I'm going to get slaughtered for them. But so it was around here. It's like 8, L6. That was a kind of mid-app, though, to be fair to me. 7, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Yeah, okay, maybe my ratings weren't as high as I thought they were. What the hell? When did... Oh, wait, what the hell? What am I looking at? This is season 1. Is it all just season 1? Right, okay. Okay. It's including season 1 and 2. That threw me off. Right, that's where season 1 ended. This is where season 2 started. Season 2, 8. That was the episode I was on about with the 6. Then we had 8, 7, 8, 10. Yeah, okay, we have about 10, 7, 9. Look at that animation, just that thumbnail. 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8. Yeah. It's just, bro. Only 1 10, but bro, that one episode I gave it 10 to was so good. Anyway, moving on. Nora, I don't know why I said it like that. That's more Nora here, but from Bates Motel, The Mother. I've not rewatched Bates Motel. I really want to. I mean, I won't say I really want to, but I would at some point, I think, because it is very short. It knew when to end. 5 seasons long. Only 10 episodes a season. And she's great. She was a great character. I'm going to say Bow Before Thee for Nora, but probably at the bottom of it, honestly. Yeah, just a great character. Don't want to spoil too much again. I mean, if you've seen Psycho, then... Jeremy from Peep Show. It was actually hard. Back in the day, Jeremy was my number one easily, but I rewatched Peep Show earlier this year, all the way through, and Mark, way funnier than I remember him being, to be fair. I think Mark's one of those, like, you have to grow up to appreciate the humour that they give to Mark. But Jeremy, Peep Show, by the way, is maybe one of the funniest shows I've seen. Like, when I watched it when I was younger, again, a lot of it kind of went over my head and I thought it's funny, but it was never one of my favourites. Whereas now, Peep Show, I'd say top 5 comedy shows for me, for sure. And Jeremy is so good in it. I'm going to put Jeremy and Bow Before Thee. Not someone you'd want as a friend. I mean, neither would you Mark. That's the whole point in Peep Show. Like, they're just two horrible human beings. But I'd say Jeremy is... Is he funnier than... I'd prefer Peep Show to New Girl, but of course we're doing characters. So Jeremy versus Winston... I'd say Jeremy's funnier. Yeah. He's not as funny as Jay, though. Jay's just iconic. So we'll go there, I think. Right in the middle. There we go. Next up, we're kind of getting there. We are kind of getting there. I mean, it's Linda Cardellini, so we know exactly where that's going. All the way there. 2 Linda Cardellini's. Did I need to add 2 Linda Cardellini's? Yes. I know that's what you're asking. The answer is yes. So we have 2 Linda Cardellini's. Honestly, it's probably better if I just do this, actually. Add a row above Linda Cardellini. And then we'll put her, like, there. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Okay. I don't need to say any more than the character. Freaks and Geeks, I'm only on, like, episode 6, so there's not even that much to say about Lindsay's character, but it's Linda Cardellini. Homelander. I feel like we Homelander season 1 was like kind of an enigma. We didn't, maybe not an enigma. We didn't know much about him, and then it's like they gave us little bits. Whereas I feel like where we're at with The Boys now, we kind of know all we need to know about Homelander, and I think even the show knows that because we have the final season coming up in the next couple of years. But again, a lot of people would have him right at the top. I completely get that. For me, I'm gonna say Bow Before Thee, and again, he's one of those that you probably do want to bow when he enters the room because you'll get your balls lasered off, which is literally done. I prefer Ragnar, I'd say. Homelander is a great character, but Anthony Starr's performance is not the only Anthony Starr. We have Anthony Starr here as well for Banshee. But Anthony Starr, I thought was great in Banshee. Like, I've been on board with this act since 2015. I think is when I got into Banshee, or 2016 maybe. But he is even better in The Boys. He's so good as this character, which just boosts him up. That, like, if Homelander wasn't played by Anthony Starr, I don't think I'd want it. So yeah, I think... I forgot the actor's name. Flamel, who plays Ragnar, is amazing as well. Travis Flamel, maybe. But yeah, I think his performance just boosts him up a little bit extra. Maybe to there. Yeah. He just commands the screen so well whenever he's on. Like, I don't think he's the most in-depth, interesting character, Homelander, but he's not... I don't think he's, like, really meant to be either, so I don't mind so much. Yeah. Amazing villain. Penelope from Bridgerton. We just had an entire season about her. Bridgerton was a hard one on who to pick as, like, the characters. Like, I could have gone Kate, but then it's like we don't really know much about Kate. I just like Kate. And then the other one was Anthony. But then I thought Penelope, we've kind of had 3 seasons of her. She's kind of like the main character of the show at this point, I'd say. But there's like multiple main characters, of course, with Bridgerton. So yeah, I just went with Penelope. And I really love this actress. I think she seems like a really great person. There you go. Seems like a wholesome actress. I'm going to say Bow Before Thee might be a little bit high for honestly anyone in Bridgerton, apart from Kate. Kate would be in Bow Before Thee, but we don't know much about Kate's character, honestly. I'll say... Yeah, I'm not going to put her in Bow Before Thee. I'm looking at these characters. I do prefer these characters, but I'd put her like there, I think. She is pretty swell. And they've confirmed the next season is going to be about Benedict. Confirmed. Rick Grimes. Oh, my boy, Rick Grimes. Peak The Walking Dead was anything Rick was in, basically. I mean, not because he was also in like kind of some of the weaker parts of The Walking Dead, but Rick was always. And again, Andrew Lincoln's performance as Rick is genuinely really, really great. I think like everyone in The Walking Dead's good, but then like Andrew Lincoln's just like up here in terms of the acting. He's so good in that show. I'm gonna say The Walking Dead I would put like here, around here, but Rick Grimes, iconic. Rick Grimes is so good as a character. I love him. I'm gonna put him above Annalise. I'm going to take Annalise below Tony Soprano, by the way. I'm just going to swap that a little bit. I'm also going to put her below Michael Scott. But I'm going to put Rick Grimes there. I love Rick Grimes. I think he's so cool. Every time I'm like holding his gun to the side, he's doing his line deliveries, he's just going on a rampage. He's like ripping people's throats out with his teeth. Like, prime Rick for me is like, is it seasons 4 to 6 where he's just completely off the rails and he's just like a psychopath and he's like butchering people with machetes and stuff. He's so cool. So yeah, I'm putting Rick Grimes an iconic icon. The Walking Dead would not be that high as the show, but him as a character for sure. Rhaenyra from House of the Dragon. A lot of people find her very boring, and one criticism with the character that I do agree with is that the show doesn't really. It feels like they don't know what they want to do with her. Whether they want to make her the all peaceful Rhaenyra, or they want to make her like this rampage, burn everyone. Maybe not to that degree, but just on board with going to war. It feels like now she's kind of more on board with going to war, but I thought that with the last season as well, so with season 1. So we'll see. I do agree with that criticism. However, I don't agree with that she's a boring character. I really love Rhaenyra. I think most, not all, but most of the scenes that she's on, I'm like entertained and engaged in. So yeah, she's a tricky one. I'd say she's not iconic icon. She's not there yet. She might be by the end of the show if they play their cards right. House of the Dragon, like they said, it's going to end with 4 seasons, which I think is perfect. Season 3 and 4 though need to be boom, let us go. Like they need to start getting on with it. And this comes from someone who actually enjoys season 2 more than most. I'd say Rhaenyra for me is like not as good as Homelander yet. I think she will. I think by the time the show is done, she could be here. But she's not there yet for me. But she is on Bow Before Thee, and I would genuinely bow before Rhaenyra. For sure. Yeah, I'm going to say here for now. Just need to do a bit more with seasons 3 and 4. Spike from Cowboy Bebop, which I watched for the first time this year, all the way through. Really, really great anime. I'd say in my top 15 anime, not quite top 10, but I think top 15 anime, Cowboy Bebop would be there. And Spike was such a good character. Really loved him. Very charming, very likable, very witty, very fun to watch as a character. And again, 25 episodes, absolutely perfect for that show. And you could have really picked anyone from that crew, but I think Spike just by slightly is like the better character. But they're all great in their own right, and they all actually have like they give enough to all of them where they feel like they have like a decent personality and they're all different to each other. I'm gonna say Bow Before Thee for Spike. Probably, yeah, he's better than her, better than Cassie, better than House. I'm gonna say there towards the top of Bow Before Thee. Really love his character. I miss that show. I need to watch it again. And the 90s, like Eren. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. We got Eren Yeager, who is instantly going an iconic icon. Probably there. And I can't believe I've just actually put him there. Oh my god. No. There is an argument to be made that he is the best written character on this entire list, apart from Walter White, I would personally say. There is an argument to be made that he is the best written character on this list which I cannot believe. This is coming from someone who, if you'd asked this time last year what he thought about Attack on Titan, which you can see my tier list I did when I ranked every TV show, where I literally put Attack on Titan towards the bottom of the list because I said I thought it was overrated and I didn't connect with any of the characters. And that season 2 was boring. There are definitely some things that I said about that show. Having watched all of Attack on Titan towards the last couple of months of last year, I think Eren he's easily an iconic icon. I don't know if I'd personally put him above John Locke. I just have more of an attachment to John Locke. But he is a better written character than John Locke. I will agree with that. Just for me personally. Yeah, he's there. Like I said, not one of my he's top 10, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like he's do I prefer Rick? No. I think Rick has too many low moments where Eren just does not. Like season 4 Eren, bro. Oh my god. I can't believe I've actually done that, because this time last year I'd have put Eren down at the bottom. This time last year, he'd genuinely be like that. I did not give a shit about Eren. Oh my god. And now I'm like, yeah, honestly, Eren technically would be there, but personally, I'd put John Locke, so I'd put him there. So, yeah. That's wild. I can't believe I've done that. Oh, there we go. Barry from the show Barry. He, by all rights, should be here. He should be somewhere here. Season 4, though, not season. Again, we did the TV show ranking, so I might be repeating myself a little bit here. Season 4 is not that bad. I just think seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Barry are so good that season 4, when it came out, and they did that thing halfway through the final season, because the first 4 eps was pretty great. It felt like it was building up, and then they didn't ruin it. It's just then it just kind of felt like it became like every other show for the final 4 eps, even though it wasn't that. It felt like such a different show, and then it just became. And I was like, okay, cool, I guess. So Barry, and especially because that was the last 4 episodes, which I say with Game of Thrones, it's like that's your last impression of the show. Unfortunately, not as bad as Game of Thrones, not even close with its ending. I've always said Barry to me was like a 9 out of 10 kind of show, but the ending was like a 6. Still decent, just. You should have had a 9 out of 10 ending. I'm going to say Barry. I can't put him in iconic icon, but I can put him there. I'd be fine with that. He should be an iconic icon because Barry was so good and is still amazing. And very short. Very, very short. 4 seasons, 10 episodes, I think, about a season. Actually, maybe even 8. I think the last season was 8 episodes, maybe some. Yeah. Anyway, Maeve from Sex Education. Again, Sex Education. I felt like there was a few characters you could have picked from there, like Eric, Otis. I mean, Otis would be pretty low down, to be fair, but Maeve, I feel like is the most consistent throughout. Especially like the last season, I felt like she was the best part of that last season for sure. I'll say Maeve is. There's probably moments where she'd be towards the top of Bow Before Thee. But as a whole, I'd probably say pretty swell. Maybe about there for me. She's pretty swell, she can chill. But I think that the final season brings her down. Even though she was the best part of that season, I think it just brings her down a little bit. I could say Bow Before Me. It would be at the bottom, though. Yeah, maybe I prefer it to the Punisher. Maeve versus the Punisher. That's something, I guess. Hannibal. Yeah, no, I can't put her above a tier. So yeah, she'll go there. She can go there. Rust from True Detective. Iconic icon, for sure. His dialogue. True Detective Season 1 is so good, and a big part of that is because of Rust's dialogue. Matthew McConaughey's performance of Rust in the past, present, and then the other. They have like 3 timelines in that show, and all timelines he's just as interesting as he has been in other scenes. Like, he'll go on a monologue for like 5 minutes, and you're just locked in the entire time. So yeah, I think he's a really deep, interesting character to watch and listen to throughout that entire show. Yeah, I love him. I've rewatched season 1 of True Detective all the way through 4 times now, I think, at this point. And each time I get something new from just his character alone. Not even the rest of the show, but just his character. I get something new from his monologues and spiritual ways. And again, his performance is so good. Paul Mescal, Connell from Normal People. Normal People is really great as a show, but Connell, I feel like a lot of it's because of Paul Mescal's performance, Daisy Edgar-Jones' performance, their chemistry, their romance for sure. Connell as a character, I think, is just like not the everyday guy. I wouldn't say that because that makes him sound boring, but it's just like, I don't know, he's hard. Like, he's someone who's just suffering from depression without really realizing it until he starts to realize it. He's not maybe the most in-depth character, but he is interesting. I've only watched Normal People once. I do really want to rewatch it because it's very short as well. And it's finished, so there's no more of it coming out that we know of. I have a sneaking suspicion they are going to do more Normal People later down the line. But we'll see. But yeah, I'd say Connell for me is like probably the no. I'd put him up above that for sure. I'd put him above him. I'd put him above Nora. I'd put him above Joel. I prefer Nora to Joel, by the way, so we're just going to bump her up a little bit. Yeah, I prefer him to all those. I prefer him to Sukuna. I prefer him to Eric. I prefer him to... Oh, okay, he's going up further than I thought, to be fair. No, probably there. Yeah, pretty swell. He can chill. But yeah, really great show. I think he's a pretty swell character. There you go. What do you want? You're getting impatient. We don't have many characters left, Ellie, and then you can jump all over me. Chandler. Oh my god. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Iconic icon. I keep watching clips of like Matthew Perry playing Chandler, and he's just so good. He just plays that role so well, and like seeing behind the scenes footage of where they're bouncing off each other, where that Matthew Perry will say a line, he feels like he doesn't really hit with the audience, so he'll try to change it up in some way, and it's like always his delivery with how he gives those lines is just like Chandler alone is such a great character, but Matthew Perry as Chandler is what makes him so iconic for sure. So I'm going to put him above Rick. I won't say I love him. I know a lot of people have more of an emotional attachment to Chandler, more so than I do, because obviously I only I finished it for the first time last year, started it in 2019, I want to say. So I was very, very late to the Friends hype train, but yeah, so I'd say maybe more like there, I'd say, for Chandler, but he is iconic, such an iconic character. And again, say it's the show from the 90s, and for 10 seasons it kept consistent. Gara, I'm sure, like, technically he's probably around here, but for me, I'm going iconic. I'd take a bullet for Gara. I'd take a bullet for Gara. My first obsessions in life was the PS1, Jack Bauer /24, and Gara from Naruto. So I'm taking a bullet for him because he's given me all the good memories, for sure. I'm rewatching Naruto all the way through. Yeah, Ellie, if you want to go lick plates, you can go out on the streets and try and find some. You're not licking my plate. There you go. Yeah. I'm rewatching Naruto because I watched Naruto Unleashed all the way through when I was younger, but never finished Shippuden. So we've just finished Unleashed, literally, as of recording this. We finished Naruto. We're doing the filler as well, so we are about to do the filler of Naruto Unleashed. But yeah, Gara, I love him. I'd put him there for me. These two side by side feels really fitting as well, because they are, like I say, just two of the first oldest memories I have of being obsessed with the character. Like, other than when you're just a baby and you obsess over anything, maybe, I don't know if that's actually true, but first actually being obsessed with certain characters like Jack Bauer, Gara were like the two oldest versions of that for me. So yeah, I'll take a bullet for Gara. Dexter Morgan from Dexter. Um, maybe pretty high up actually. Dexter is really strong. I think there's definitely moments in Dexter where, kind of like Damon, it's like, okay, we've seen this before with Dexter. We're not really doing much new, and we have Dexter. We had Dexter New Blood, which they fumbled. That ending of that finale was awful, and they have two more spin-offs coming out. I'm not reacting to any of them because Showtime owns Dexter, and Showtime absolutely awful and still live in the 90s when it comes to reactions. But they're doing one that's a prequel, and then they're doing apparently another sequel. Don't know how that's going to work. Again, considering how Dexter New Blood ended, we'll see. But I don't have the highest of hopes for those shows. I might watch them, but we'll see. Won't be reacting to them. But yeah, Dexter as a character, I'd say he is like Barry is like completely based on, not completely based on Dexter, but it takes a lot of inspiration from Dexter as a character for sure. So we have to put him above him. Probably above Jack for me. I wouldn't say iconic icon. I think kind of like Barry for me, he by every right, he should be an iconic. And Michael C. Hall does such a great job with Dexter. Like all the mannerisms and all that, just does such a great job with him. But I think there's too much with Dexter that kind of lets him down as a character, and a bit too much repetition. But he's close. He's very, very close. Harvey from Suits. What a guy. Again, there's quite a few characters you could pick from Suits, but I feel like Harvey for me was... I always preferred him to the other one. Harvey and... What was his name? I gotta check. Played by Patrick J. Adams, I think the actor's name is. Is that right? Patrick J. Adams. Mike Ross, yeah. Harvey and Mike. But you could have picked Louis Litt, you could have picked Donna. I wouldn't pick Rachel, but I'd say, yeah, out of these four, you could probably pick them, but I'd say Harvey is like... Yeah, again, Suits, really good. I think they're bringing it back, or they're doing a spin-off show. I don't know if it's like more of Suits that we know, or if it's a spin-off show. But Harvey's pretty good. I'd say he's swell. I wouldn't say he's like a great character. It is just like the case of the day, and they got to figure out the case, which is fun. But Harvey, I'd say, is like maybe there for me. He's fun, he's a fun character. He has some good witty dialogue. He's always entertaining, but I won't say I'm like blown away. And again, I never finished. I think I got to the end of season 4. I don't know if they delve more into like Harvey as a character when it goes on, but I feel like we didn't really know too much about him based on what I'd seen. It was more like Mike that you kind of knew everything about. Roman from Succession, played by Kieran Culkin. What a performance, what a character. Succession was a hard one to pick for, because again, you could go for Logan, Rome, Kendall, Shiv, Tom. I feel like they are like the 5 characters you could genuinely, and they're all pretty consistent. I think Rome takes the edge for me, just depending on the season as well. I have different favorite characters. Like season 1, my favorite character was Kendall. Season 2, it was Shiv. Season 3, it was Shiv. And season 4, it was Rome. So, based on that, I probably should have gone for Shiv. But, I don't know. I feel like they're all so good. Succession's so good. I'm going to say for Rome, I'm going to say iconic icon. Maybe there. Not quite at the top. I've watched Succession all the way through twice now. And I would watch it again. For sure. I think I've rewatched season 1 4 times. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, great dialogue, great acting. So happy he won the Emmy for that role. So well deserved. And I'm sad it's over, but 4 seasons, pretty perfect. Okay, well, we know where Lorelei's going, don't we? I'd take a bullet for Lorelei. Not quite as high as like the nostalgia, but we'll say here. Can you believe that? Like, again, seasons 1 to 3, I was like, Lorelei's fine. She'd have been in Swell, probably, honestly. But the more I watch of Gilmore, the more I fall in love with Lorelei. And I will take a bullet for Lorelei. So, how can you not? Look at her. Look at Lorelei. How can you not take a bullet for Lorelei? Boom. I'm not even going to say anything else. We're leaving it at that. Spencer from Pretty Little Liars. Again, you could pick any of the liars. Also, Alison, you could probably pick as well. But Out of the Liars, Arya, Emily, Spencer, Hannah. Oh my god, I remember all the names. Boom. But I felt like I could be wrong, but I think early Pretty Little Liars, my favorite was Hannah, and then the more the show went on, I think Spencer became my favorite. But I'll say Pretty Little Liars. All four of them, all four have their ups and downs, but I think all four are pretty consistent in their characters. So yeah, Spencer, I'd say is. I prefer Clark, so she ain't going above Clark, but she's better than Wednesday, so yeah. I'm going to bring Scylla down. I prefer Clark to Scylla. Or, do I bring Clark up? Because Clark is pretty cool. She is cool. Yeah, let's keep Scylla there. Maybe I'll just bring Clark up one. And that hair, when she had like that short hair, I'm gonna bring Clark up. Why not? She does have some good, like really cool character moments. To be fair, I think it's just like, I'm thinking more of like the storylines they gave her, which was goofy. But her as a character, she did her best in those storylines. That's for sure. Right, we got. Oh, I didn't even grab anyone then. Klaus from the originals. Obviously, we got more of. I'll include the knowledge we know of him from the Vampire Diaries, of course, as well. But Klaus is great. I'd say he's better than Damon. So wherever Damon is, he's better than him. Bow Before Thee. And again, Joseph Morgan playing Klaus, so good as that character. His line delivery is just so poetic. Every threat he gives sounds like art. I'd say that maybe. I won't put him too high up in Bow Before Thee, but he is there. And I've not finished the originals, so maybe he'd go down, but we'll see. Alright, this one's sad because we had to stop doing Charmed because of Paramount being absolute twats. Don't do reactions to Charmed, please. Alright, yeah, sure. I won't do a reaction to your show from the 90s, bloody hell. But Piper, I was really enjoying Charmed. It's just so unfortunate because I was enjoying that show. But Piper was my favourite out of those characters. I got to around episode 17 of season 1, so I didn't get super far into it. But Piper for me, I can't put her super high up because I just don't know that much about her. And a lot of me wants to put her higher up because it is Holly who plays her, who I love. I really love Holly. It just she seems like such a wholesome actress. But I'd say here for me. I'd way more of Spencer, so I'd put Spencer above. She would have been higher. She would have been. She genuinely could have been. I'd take a bullet for her, but we'll never know because I'm not watching Charmed. And you can blame Paramount. Lucas Hood. I want to see the character's name is, but Anthony Starr in Banshee. Very fun character, just does not give a shit. Kind of like Homelander, doesn't give a shit. I always say like the premise of Banshee is so cool. It's like a small town cop. He's around when that small town cop dies, so he takes on the personality of this cop and pretends to be the cop. Because the cop's just coming into town, so no one knows what he looks like or anything, so he takes on his role. But the little thing is, he's a criminal that just got out of prison, pretending to be a cop. It's like a cool little idea to cop. That's like all within like the first 15 minutes. And then it's like, how would a criminal deal with these situations? But yeah, he's a cool character. He's pretty fun. I wouldn't put him too high up and swell. I think Banshee is more like the story and, it's 4 seasons. But him as a character isn't the most amazing thing in the world, but yeah, the action sequences are really great. Some really great villains as well, I'd say. Yeah, I'm happy with them there. Or on the last row after this one. It's Alexis. Yes, Alexis from Schitt's Creek. I think you could pick any of the family members from Schitt's Creek. I think they're all pretty consistently as good as each other, but Alexis, for me, I never really cared about her in seasons 1. Like, she was fun, but then, like, I felt like they did a really great job with Alexis the more the show went on, as they did with all the characters, but Alexis, I felt like, was just one of the funny ones. I wouldn't put her super high up. I don't think she's, like, one of my favourite sitcom characters or anything, but Schitt's Creek kind of goes for, like, for me, the more, like, wholesome, actual good character arcs more so than it does the comedy, while it is still funny. But I wouldn't put her super high up. Like, she's pretty swell. She can chill. I wouldn't put her in Bow Before Thee. maybe there for me. I prefer it to Nora. Yeah, but I've had 6 seasons with Alexis, I think is how long Schitt's Creek is. Oh, Ella, what's the character's name from Fallout? Very, very recent. The actress is Ella, who we love. Who voices Jinx, of course, was also in Yellow Jackets. Lucy from Fallout. We're gonna get a lot more Fallout. I think Fallout's gonna be one of those shows that goes on for like 5 seasons, which I'm fine with as long as it stays as good. Because season 1 of Fallout was surprisingly good. However, we don't know much about Lucy just yet. I like her kind of happy-go-lucky spirit, and she tries to hold on to that the longer she's in the world, but she kind of has to let that go, obviously, the more the season goes on. So that's cool. And we got quite a bit of her backstory the more the show went on as well. Bonus points that it is played by Ella, because she is great. I'd say I prefer it to Wednesday. Maybe she's pretty swell. Maybe she's up here already. Based on 8 episodes, I think that's pretty good. Better than Clark, sure. Better than him, yes. Not as good as Love. So yeah, we'll go her. I'm good with that. Next. Yeah, I had to check who this guy was before I focused. I was like, who the hell's that? That is the main guy from One Day. It just chopped his head off. It decided it wanted to show more of his jacket than his actual face, I guess. But he's fine. He's pretty good. One Day isn't as good as it is because of his character. Like, the actor does a really great job with him, but again, it's more about the romance. I really like just the premise of that show, where it shows one day for every episode is one day on the same day of every year, and it shows like 20 years. I think that's a really cool idea. But yeah, he is a pretty good character. I wouldn't put him super high up. I'd say like there for me. Yeah, he's good. And again, the more that the show goes on, the more you get connected to his character. God, that was a mouthful. Sydney from The Bear. Seasons. If you'd have asked me this time last year, I'd have probably put her at the top of Bow Before Thee. I love Io. I just watched Theatre Camp. She was great in that. Great in Bottoms. And I saw her in something else as well that I can't remember right now. But obviously, my favourite role of her so far is Sydney from The Bear, which is amazing. But season 3 of The Bear was still good. I don't think it was like as bad as some people make out to be, like saying it's filler. I don't know about that. But it was easily the weakest season out of the 3 that we've had so far. So, and that includes Sydney's character. I think it was her weakest season out of the 3 so far for sure. So I'm going to bring Sydney down a little bit to where I'd usually have her. She could go back up, depending if seasons 4 and 5 are as good as they should be. She was here this time last year, I'd say. But right now, I'm going to say she's more so there. Yeah, there. Just down a little bit. Not like a lot, but yeah, she's gone down a little bit for me. Don't know if I'm going to be able to... I'm still grabbing characters. That's pretty good. Belly. I was like, is her name Summer? But it's the summer I turned pretty. Belly. Honestly, can probably go into Bai, as would Conrad and Jeremiah. Like, they're fine. When I'm like watching the show, they're fine, but compared to these characters, like, I prefer Sarah Cameron to Belly, but I would put her there maybe. Do I prefer Betty Cooper? No. I don't. I think I prefer George. No, I don't. Actually, George, no, I don't. I prefer Betty to Georgia. But yeah, she can go in and buy. I just don't have any emotional attachment to Belly as a character. And again, Jeremiah and Conrad would also probably be in there, to be honest. Max from Stranger Things, Sadie Sink. My favourite character is Stranger Things, but again, there's just so many characters you can pick from Stranger Things that's so amazing. We're getting the final season, I think next year, is 2025 is probably when we're going to get that. But yes, Max as a character, I'll say, is probably Bow Before Thee. I didn't care about her in season 2, actually. She was like, when she first was introduced into the show, I think like a lot of people were just like, oh, don't mess with the core group that we have, that she's trying to insert herself. But by the end of season 2, I think it really grew to a character for sure. And then 3 and 4, I think she was the best parts of those seasons, especially season 4. Easily season 4, she was the best part of that season. I'll say better than Rhaenyra, I guess. Maybe Beto. No, probably above her, yeah. Probably there, yeah. Pretty high up, middle tier of Bow Before Thee for me. Very excited to see what they do with all those characters in the final season. If it sticks to landing, impressive. Pym, my boy Pym from Smiling Friends, of course. I love him. He just, I could have picked Glep. Glep was like but season 2 of Smiling Friends. I was like, Glep is great as like a background character kind of thing, but Pym's like an actual. I mean, Glep is an actual character. We've got him right there, of course, but I went for Pym. Just wholesome. His line delivery is so good. Every time he delivers a line, again, all those characters, their line delivery is amazing, but Pym, we're putting in Bow Before Thee for sure. Not quite iconic icon yet. I think he could be there at some point. He's not quite there yet for me. But as a character that you get 10 minutes of every episode, I'll say there for me. Bow Before Thee. You gotta bow before Pym. How could you not? Callie from Grey's Anatomy. I was thinking about the main 5 from Grey's Anatomy, and I was like, I don't really care about either of these. But then Callie, I was like, I care about Callie at least. It's between Callie and Lexi. I'm on season 5 of Grey's Anatomy, so obviously not super far in, but I feel like Lexi we've not had a lot of yet, whereas Callie we've had obviously way more of. So yeah, Callie's cool. I like the storyline they're giving her at the moment with Han. I like when she tried to take charge and people weren't really listening to her. So again, not the most in-depth character, but she's just pretty chill all the way through. Still has her ups and downs. I did not actually care about Callie that much when she was first introduced to it, but she got better as it went on. So I'd say maybe there for me. Yeah, kind of middle of swell. Next, we're very close to the end now. Tiger Isaka. I'm going to take a bullet for Tiger. I'll take a bullet for Tiger. Probably above Jinx, above Fiona, above... I love Toradora. Toradora. For those who don't know, Toradora is my favourite anime of all time. So, is it technically the best anime of all time? No. But it's my favourite anime of all time. I think I've watched that like 6 times at this point. So, yeah, I could have picked either of the 2 characters as well, Ryuji or Tiger, but I went for Tiger. I mean, I've got... Oh yeah, Tiger's there. There's the tattoo. Yeah, I was like, can I show it? I want to get another Toradora tattoo as well. I want one of like both of them together. But it's my favourite romance anime, my favourite anime. I'm taking a bullet for Tiger. Not above Zuko for me, but I'd say about there for me. Is that completely biased? Yes, this whole list is, as I will keep reminding. Misty from Yellow Jackets. As we all know, Yellow Jackets Season 2 fell off quite a bit for me, but Misty and Elijah Wood were the best part of Season 2. They really kind of saved that season quite a bit for me. They stopped it being They stopped it from being completely dull. So yeah, Misty's character is pretty good. Above Piper, probably there. Not as good as Spencer for me. But I'll watch Season 2, I think, just to see where Misty goes. Just to see what happens to Misty. She's a really fun character to have, and I liked her dynamic with Elijah Wood in Season 2. Oh, what's her name? It's Gillian Jacobs, the actress. What's her name? Gus and... I am blanking on the character name. My God. From the show Love, of course. Very, very good show. Which is not here when you put it in. Why? I mean, I guess there's a lot of things called Love. Here it is. What's the character's name? Mickey. Mickey Dobbs. Wow. And I don't think I ever would have got that. Yeah, really great show. I preferred her to Gus. I like that we actually have quite a bit of backstory to her character. There's a lot of reasons as to why she acts the way she does, which I actually like. She isn't just doing it for the sake of it. And we kind of explore more of that with like the way she's brought up, and we meet her dad at some point as well. That's some good stuff there with her character. Not super in depth. There is only 3 seasons, very short episodes, so you didn't get a lot, but I think you get enough with the time that they kind of give you with her character. So I'll say pretty swell, maybe there for me. Middle of swell. I wish we got more of that show, but it is what it is. Nadia, I think, yeah, Nadia from Elite. Probably I can't believe Elite ended. I didn't even know they bought out the final season. I was like, oh, Elite, they actually did bring out that final season, and it did end. Let's see what the final season got as a rating. I could not watch that show. I really love to finish shows, especially if I'm reacting to them. I like to at least try to finish them, but I just had to stop with this show. I couldn't do... Like, why are planes... Oh, no, they're not planes, they're people. Why are they falling out the sky? Why? 436, and then it was 888. Season 7. I didn't even... When did this come out? This came out last year. What happened? Did anyone watch this? I don't know. I did not see a tweet, a video. I didn't see anyone talk about this. Did they bring back any of the characters or anything? Or he's still in it? Wow. He came back then. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this show got good again. Did it? It's... look at these ratings. Do you know how rare that is? The finale of the show got... Wow. That came out last month. Literally, no, I did not see anything. So if anyone watched that, let me know how it was. But Nadia was in the show when it was peak. Not peak, but peak of the show. I'd say she's pretty good. Like, she's cool. She's cool. But I'm not really like blown away by her character, to be honest. I'd say maybe Blue Blaine, yeah. No, up for Chuck. Yeah, probably there. I'd say Nadia's probably there. Her romance was the best part of that show for sure, but that was so early on in the grand scheme of things. Barney from How I Met Your Mother. I'm only, of course, halfway through season 3 as of recording this, or just over halfway through season 3. And again, it was kind of tricky. I definitely wasn't going to pick Robin or Lily. But Ted, Barney, Marshall, I could have gone with either of those. I think Barney for me is like the most consistent. Kind of annoys me at times. I'm like, why is this guy friends with these people? But there's also, I like that there's also reasons as to why he does what he does sometimes, not all the time. But and hopefully that keeps going. Like we actually learn more about Barney as a character would be quite cool. Right now, I have a suspicion he'll be around here by the time the show's done. But for right now, I'm going to say the top of Swell. Maybe like there, I think. No, I'm not going to put him back in Bow Before Me just yet. He's close. Literally, he's very close. But not quite there for me just yet. Like I said, only halfway through season 3. So that would be why. Let's go with Adam Scott from Severance. I can't believe by the time season 2 of Severance comes out, by the way, that it would have been 4 years since season 1. That is wild. January 2021 to January 2025. If Severance season 2 comes out and it's a 10 out of 10, that's fine. But if it comes out and it's like a 7, then bloody hell. As a character, I think he's hard because Severance, the best part about Severance is the plot and the story and the mystery. The characters are great, but that's not the best part about it. I think it is just that the premise of it is so cool. So as for a Severance would be like up here, but as for a character, I'd say he's like I don't love him. I don't love Adam Scott's character in Severance. I think he's like good, but I'd say he's maybe there for me, honestly. Like I say, Severance would be around here, but he's, as a character, you know. And then finally, our final character, we have Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones, of course. Kind of, I'd say exactly what I'd say about just Game of Thrones as a whole. Peak character in seasons 1 to 4. Pretty good in 5 and 6. And then became really stupid and butchered his character in the final couple of seasons. So that's what I'd say about Tyrion and majority of the characters in Game of Thrones. But Tyrion, he can't be denied. If you're going off just seasons 1 to 4, he's maybe one of the best characters of all time. For sure. Like, seasons 1 to 4, he'd be in iconic icons. But the other seasons exist, so it's going to bring him down a little bit for me to bow before thee. Kind of like Barry, by all rights, he should be in the top tier, but I can't do it. I'm going to put him there. Yeah, just below Spike. Just below Spike. He shouldn't be there, especially rewatching Game of Thrones. I'm like, bro, season 2 and 4 and 3. I mean, I guess season 1 as well, but there's like certain moments with Tyrion where I'm just like, the dialogue is so good with this character. It's unbelievable, that actually. Where I'm at halfway through season 5 at the moment, and all he's saying is, I want to drink wine. And he's just saying that over and over again. And it's not the worst thing, 'cause it's like he's kind of considering what happened in season 4, is I can kind of get it. But knowing that he peaks in 1 to 4, and that's kind of it, kind of sad, because he's just so good. And Peter Dinklage does such an amazing job with Tyrion as well. But there we go. That is finally the 100 characters that I've ranked. We've got the by characters here. Like I say, some of these aren't awful. Like, I don't think Sarah Cameron is an awful character, or Belly's like an awful character, but I just don't have any attachment to these characters, honestly. Like, they're just kind of there for when I watch the show. I mean, he is an awful character, truly awful. Percy is pretty bad. I just don't give a shit about Percy. Then these are like pretty good characters overall. I like these characters, but again, I just don't have like a big attachment to them, honestly. These are pretty swell. You know, some attachment going on with these characters. I do like a lot of these characters for sure. And it was kind of hard trying to part some of these characters with the show that they're in. But like I say, Anne with an E for me as a show is like a 9 out of 10, but Anne as a character kind of a bit further down. These characters are great. These ones I'm just like, they make their TV show better, I guess. I mean, a lot of these do, but yeah, Ragnar, Dexter, some of these characters by all right should be in the top tier. Like I say, this is technically for me the top tier. These are all iconic characters for me. Walter White, John Locke, Eren Yeager, Rust Cole, Chandler. I just love all of these characters. Annalise. Jax, I think, is maybe a bit sneaky in there. He should maybe be at the top of Bow Before Thee, but look how cool he looks, bro, in that image. He's just a cool character. So technically, I'd say maybe more here with Jax, but I'm happy with having him there, to be honest. These are a lot more biased, to be honest. Like, these are just, like I say, I'll take a bullet for these characters. I've got all of these characters I have like some form of emotional attachment to. And then we've got Linda Cardellini, who no one's ever going to be above Linda Cardellini. The only person who comes close to being above Linda Cardellini is Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway isn't on this list, though. I don't think I've even ever watched a TV show with Anne Hathaway in it. But even then, Linda Cardellini is still having her own tier, to be honest. I should have gone for Linda Cardellini's character in New Girl as well. Instead of Winston, we have one when she comes into New Girl. That would have been good. But we could have had 3 Linda Cardellini characters. But we'll stick with the 2 for now. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know which characters from this list you would have in iconic icons, or which characters you'd take a bullet for. And I think I might do this again. I thought maybe what I'd do is I'd get either the viewers or my dad to pick like 100 random characters, and they could be characters that I hate or characters that I love, and then I have to rank it. Whereas here it's just kind of for me like my favorite or the more iconic characters from the said TV shows. But like for the Vantage, you could do like, what if we had Matt Donovan versus Agatha versus Robin, like just random characters that I wouldn't really pick if I was doing it personally. So that's something that we could do later on down the line, but let me know. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Peace.